You're hearing that? You're hearing that? The sweet sounds of LAN, ladies and gentlemen. We love it. Welcome back to Zero In. Welcome back to Philadelphia. My name's Upmine. Joined here by none other than Tenrek. And right now, you guys are listening to the sweet, sweet sounds of LAN and a series that might have just ended.
I believe it may have, or we may be going a little farther. I'm not sure. We do have one more match in the round of 16 that is ending, but we're about to get into our first quarterfinal match, or the only quarterfinal match that we'll be able to cover here on the stream. But again, if you're just joining us, it's already been such a wild tournament with so much more to go tomorrow as well.
Right. And we do have our bracket updated for you guys. Of course, there are a couple of updates for you guys coming in very soon. OT and Legacy are currently facing off, and that game is actually still going. We don't have a solid update for you guys, but you guys did get Rice and Cracker. Yes, moving on. That is going to be the filled-in spot on our bottom left. Huge game going on the bottom in the top left. Sad Esports taking on Pigeons. For those that haven't been following Pigeons, now's the time to do so.
Yeah, for sure. They've been absolutely steamrolling this entire tournament, and their mentality, they've been very vocal about it. Just run it down, just be better, and it's been working so well. They've beaten everybody they've played against, and that includes Nightblood and Sad already, so they're looking really good. Meanwhile, we're going to be looking at Blue Water facing off against Nightblood here in the quarterfinals, a Challengers League level matchup happening in the top 8 for sudden death qualification into those semis. This Blue Water squad, with even the sub in Renz, is looking so strong today.
Because even Renz, he himself is a Challengers player. He just faced Nightblood this week, and that ended up going his way. So if anybody is going to have the keys to success, it might be someone like him. But at the end of the day, this team is looking to dominate. They didn't have the... I'll just say it like this. Blue Water, they haven't had the easiest time online. In the Fun Haver tournaments, hasn't exactly been the most consistent. You want them to be dominant, right?
Right.
But simply put, they show up on LAN, and they showed up already. 3-0, simple.
Yeah, it's been really good for them so far. Blue Water, in the meanwhile, they're still looking to find their footing. I had a chance to catch up with Fireball Ops coming into the match. Let's take a look. Hey there, guys. I'm here with Fireball Ops from Blue Water, about to head into the quarterfinal match against Nightblood Gaming.
Oh, rats.
Entertaining, right?
Right.
I had some real good questions.
That was insightful.
I will sum it up for you. Fireball Ops is still feeling really good about this tournament. Blue Water as a whole really is feeling good about getting to play together. The big thing is just those big mistakes that can happen mid-round for them. It really feels like, and not necessarily a mental thing, more of just a missing that one X factor to finalize a game kind of thing. And coming up against Nightblood Gaming, it's going to be tough to get their footing, but this is going to be a really fun match.
And if anything, we can start to look at a little bit more on some of the individuals on this roster. Renz, of course, for one, we've been talking about individually has been on fire, and that's not what we're looking at. But still, Renz, at the end of the day, this man, he has showed up as that sub, and he is filled all the way in. His agent pool this tournament could not be more varied.
The ultimate flex.
If anything, it's a showcase for his value for the international scene, because that's what he is aiming for. And now Fireball Ops on the other side, his job is to frag, and he's been doing so.
Yeah, absolute core on the Sentinel. This is just such a good defensive duo for Blue Water. They've been so consistent this tournament. Again, Renz, a total super sub, basically taking whatever fills at the time, whatever they've been able to work with. And Renz told me they did have a bit of time to work on it. 3 weeks, to be exact, to practice with this Blue Water squad. Renz feels very confident in whatever he can fill in on. And then Fireball Ops, as we said, yeah, absolute madman, just holding it down on the Sensi roll. One of the best in the tournament so far.
Yeah, and that's really all that matters for this team at the moment, because really, these teams that are coming into LAN, they are going to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, in your face, right? Or a little bit more surprising on that attack side. Having somebody like Fireball Ops being that pillar for the team, not exactly a bad idea. Now, when it comes to Renz, at the bare minimum, again, with him filling in so much, you would expect some sort of falter. But at the end of the day, he's just playing to his comfortability, and that's all that he needs to do. The responsibility is not on his back.
Yeah, well, talking about the backup of Blue Water that's been so crucial to getting them this far, let's talk about the thing that's been missing from Blue Water at this tournament, the spear tip, Fair, that duelist role. He has been he has been very consistent in every other tournament other than this one. He has faltered in a couple of games, and it has cost Blue Water dearly in the standings.
0 kills on attack in some of the maps, actually. It wasn't just one. Again, it's been a little bit iffy, but at the end of the day, all 5 can pop off. If Fair's not the one stepping up, he's usually the spear anyways. There's going to be 4 guys behind him that can frag. And if anything, folks, let's see what Fair has to be working with here on LAN as we try to go behind the screen with Fair.
Yo, my name is Fair, and this is my setup. It's always been comfortable for me. I don't know, I'm not like ambidextrous. I can't use my right hand for anything. It's kind of useless. I just got an arm. That's it. I use my middle finger to shoot, actually. That's something that I do. I know like other left-handed people that play with their right hand, and it just like doesn't make sense. Cause like if you're left-handed, why would you use your right hand to play? You know what I'm saying?
Completely understand, completely heard. Even though the man is not using an ambidextrous mouse.
Just get an ambidextrous mouse.
I don't get it. He could go to 5 below and be just fine, but folks.
Left-handed people are so persecuted.
Hey, but he's trying to showcase. He's trying to do something. He's trying to impress. But at the bare minimum, this best of 3 that we just saw from Blue Water in the last round, we're going to look at some of the stats from it. It just wasn't that impressive. You're looking at map 2 right here in terms of Haven. This was the disastrous map, of course. You ended up having Fair on the defensive side, 0 kills. You also had Ren on the attack side. On this map, 0 first deaths. This team just could not bring it together on this map. We can show it as maybe a little bit, just in terms of the fact that this team is having a tough time. This tournament isn't exactly, you know, flawless. You know, it isn't exactly going to be impenetrable from the team, but this is what we expect from Blue Water. That's their form online usually.
Yeah, no, it's definitely taken a second for Blue Water to get their feet off the ground. And in that last match against Invictus Red, in which they knocked them off the round of 16, they were eventually able to stabilize. And in this map 3, Sunset, it was about tied, and then they were able to hop on that hot streak, get to a 13-7 from a 7-6 loss, and turn this into a decent matchup. So while they're definitely a little bit tired coming onto the stage because they haven't really had too much time in between games, they still got to feel really good coming off of that momentum into this series, and they're going to need it against NBG.
Yeah, NBG coming into this one with experience, to say the least, under their wings. NBG, but they're also looking for, you know, the quote-unquote sales. They're looking for some sort of momentum back into it because the results online haven't exactly reflected where the skill level is at for a lot of these individuals. And if anything, right now, there's players like Screwface who they're really trying to vary up their comps or vary up their agent pool and slowly refining back into what they were comfortable with, slowly going back to that duelist role when the team needs it. And NBG, even though they continue to throw around some of these picks, they continue to throw around some of these agents, it really does seem that NBG, they're using this tournament right here really just to get comfortable.
Yeah, this feels like such a good session to really lab with Nightblood Gaming and see just how far they can take the absolute highest calibers of these players, the things that they specialize in the most. And more than anything, I got to speak with Kumi about this earlier, it's firepower. It's just the ability to get in and shoot quickly. Not just efficiently, not just better, but quickly. Nightblood Gaming is very fast. They're very efficient. They're very heavy on execing and making sure that they are using as little util as possible on the way in so that they can win those bigger, scrappier fights on the way out. And a big part of that is that offensive core. But it's backed up by so much enabling, so many of these tiny moments that you see Screwface doing a lot of the calling for. I mean, this team is very vocal, very vibey, very much like in the weeds, and coming from so many different backgrounds of Valorant as well, so many different planes of experience. To see it all try to mesh together here in a LAN setting, it's so exciting.
No, look at the personalities. This is a fan right here, bro. I love it. Love it. Little. I was gonna use some other terms. What a squad. What a squad. What a squad. A bunch of goons, perhaps. But folks, we do have to focus in on a couple of players. At least for the higher ups of this team, we've had at least some sort of highlights. We've had some sort of all-star performances, and I didn't exactly think that a team like NBG would have needed it, but they got it. They have 2 players that are standing at the very top of this entire tournament as we speak.
Yeah, they have some absolute ballers out on this team, and they have shown up in spades. The biggest one for me, and for most people when watching basically anytime Nightblood Gaming is playing, is Carr, son of Carr. Carson, the guy, the duelist. He has been absolutely legendary from the moment he stepped out, basically out of nowhere, into the fray. And normally backing him up is that other fragger in Kumi in the Sentinel role. But he's actually taken a bit of a step back, and instead, whenever Carson goes down or overextends, it's noted that he's taken the footing on that front line and doubled down forward.
Which again is just kind of impressive because yes, Screwface, he has to take a little bit more of a backseat. He has to focus a little bit more on his utility. He just simply has to stay alive. When it comes to Noted though, mainly playing Clove. That aggressive Clove on the attack side of all things, that, I want to say, you know, you want to keep Clove, quote unquote, alive, but they still get mileage when they're gone. They can easily be that second person in that string. It just has to come out for Noted. Noted needs to actually, you know, he wants to want those interactions, basically. He needs to have that desire, and there's plenty of players on this team that have that desire, like Kumi, like, of course, Screwface. But he's still able to kind of stick himself as a pivotal quote-unquote spear, even though, of course, the team still needs him. The addition of Clove to the game basically allowed for somebody like Noted to succeed.
Yeah, really letting him mobilize in a tournament setting like this where so many people are so mounted towards aggression. It's affected a lot of things. The comp choices, for one, it lets people experiment, and in the map pool a little bit. We see some people ducking off of their normal hard bans in favor of trying a couple new things. We see NBG going with Icebox to start us out, and then Haven. So it's a reversal of the first two maps that we got to cover in our round of 16 match.
Yeah, right. And it's still going to be, again, more or less that same equation, or more or less that same formula, right? It is going to be that scale, scale, scale. It's going to be the individuality, of course, on Haven, but on Icebox, it is going to come down to that scale, 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 which for somebody like Noted, my goodness,
Step
that is
ladder.
where he is going to be able to succeed. Just keep one-weighing himself, keep layering himself with the smokes. Not exactly a bad look coming out from NBG, but over on Blue Otter, of course, they do have a little bit more expanded of a map pool.
Yeah.
But still, you know, you did see a couple of maps that they have been at least playing with. They've been playing with Sunset, they've been playing with Corrode, and still, this still ends up becoming a really good pool for them. Lotus has been in their back pocket this entire time. The fact that that makes it all the way over to the third pick. Blue Otter, like this, at least in terms of what they've been practicing, it's there.
Yeah, it really feels like it's almost more of a pick for Blue Otter, despite Nightblood being the ones to throw Bind to the wayside. But classically, Nightblood Gaming has also struggled on approaching Bind, especially when it comes to managing those overwhelming attacks in the back half of a defensive phase. So I understand them wanting to try to control that tempo against Blue Otter come third map, but they're going to need to do it quick, and they're going to need to maintain that energy if we end up getting that far. But we might not. We're going to start on Icebox, go to Haven. We'll see which of these teams has the higher firepower, because again, I mean, these are two squads who are just so hell-bent on being like completely mechanical and working like completely well-oiled machines. When you see God, such explosive players on both of these teams, able to blend together and communicate with each other in such a high-paced setting.
Well, that makes sense because of how aggressive and how chaotic that style can be. The communication has to be even more important. And I look at somebody's career trajectory like Screwface, where I would like to say he was a lot more scrappy of a player years ago.
Yes.
And he was in a position where he just did not have that responsibility. He has himself matured. He has taken on the responsibilities that players who are just recently coming into the game, they need somebody like him to be able to step up. And not only that, but he's also changing his role to be able to further facilitate the rest of his team, right? But folks, I think with that being said, I think we can maybe give some predictions, right? Are you confident enough in your pick? What do you think?
It's really tough. This match is a really tough one to call, but honestly, with the speed we're going, I'm going Nightblood Gaming, personally. I've seen the light, I've seen the son of Carr, and he has spoken the truth to me, and I am never going back. But in all seriousness, I really like the vibes that NBG bring to the table. I think on stage it's going to be even better. We're going to hear them, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for dang sure. But for me, Blue Otter. Just simple. I think.
Thanks, man.
No, I think it's pretty simple, to be honest, because again, in both teams they do have similar play styles. It really is going to come down to the preparation, I think, for me in this game, and ultimately the mental. If the mental is on a down tilt for Blue Otter, I can trust that roster can bring it back themselves. But again, this is still going to be an even game. This is still two teams that have prepared with each other for months. They have been. You know, they have formed this roster around each other. They have formed the methodology of everything that they're doing in-game around each other. So, again, if anything, still going to be a little bit more of a 50-50. Got to stick to Blue Otter, though, just because of the fact that these guys have proven to pull out the big wins. They have won just a lot more tournaments in this last year than a lot of any other Tier 2 teams. I mean, really any other Tier 2 team in this building.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
And then production, I believe that they also predicted NBG along with me. I'm not going to speak on behalf of them, but probably Screwface Buff. That would be my guess. He leaves an impression on people. He has a way of doing that.
Yeah, he gave me a handshake earlier, and I felt like 2 times stronger.
Never wash your hand again, man.
Nah, you think I have? Yeah.
I will say, I want to know actually if you which way you think Icebox specifically is going for these teams. I personally would say that it actually will go Blue Otter's way. I think we do end up taking this to 3 and NBG wins.
Why? Well, because again, I do see the attack side for Icebox being just incredibly pivotal for NBG.
Yeah.
And if we are able to get the look from Noted that I'm kind of looking for, I don't think there's really any stopping them on Icebox because, again, in theory, in terms of the individuals and in terms of how of a solved game it is sort of on defense, these players, they are comfortable in their solo positions. You're going to have Screwface solo anchoring. You're going to have Noted sticking over like really being that shift a little bit, or being that lurk a little bit. Son of Car is going to be doing basically the same thing. You're going to have two very good spears on this team, plus the fact that you do have a lot of mobile players. They have players that are meant to be slick on attack, and they can take that play style over towards defense. Again, similar to Noted and Kumi, if anything.
Well, we'll see how that mobility all comes together. I'm really, my personal, you know, the thing that pops to mind in my head when I think of how Blue Otter is going to hit this attack on their own side for Icebox is Renz. I think the way that he's been able to be so versatile in that role of playing kind of whatever this team needs, I think they're probably going to need a little more power in the front for this fight, and I think Renz is going to be more than happy to take that. He has been doing that a little bit more, taking that like secondary duelist, as Blue Otter has, I don't know, not like started to pug it out a little bit more, but maybe started to take this with a little less seriousness, and that gets them, you know, gets the juices flowing a little bit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think Renz specifically, again, he's had more than enough prep time with the team. Like, they communicate really well. He takes direction very well from them. And I think the execution can really come through if he's going to be, you know, that second lineup.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Fair, he's the duelist. Like, that's really all that you need to remember. Even though his stats don't reflect it, if he does any better, basically, on Icebox, you do have a core of 3 players who are all playing very, very well this weekend, who are consistently fragging on specifically the attack side for him. They do need that effect from Fair, though. It's a little weird to say because, you know, these sort of lands you can easily start to not take seriously. There's going to be some games where you start to get into that flow, or you just had a good run in group stage, and then you're like Blue Otter, and then you run into an opponent that you're kind of disrespecting. And at the end of the day, you might not have came into the most meta-optimal comp. You went with your comfortable composition, which I can only guess that might be a bit of a question mark here for Blue Otter, with just the fact that, you know, it would be nice to put everyone just like, you know, just in a nice position. Of course, everyone else, they're already used to playing with each other, but where do you put Renz? How do you play out Renz? Is he really just going to play comfortable and just play his variety of variety of agents, or will it just be the agent that the team needs?
It's going to be really tough to see, you know, which decision Blue Otter goes for, but I think there is no more time to waste.
No, sir. No. I think we're ready.
Let's do it. Let's bring out the teams. I believe we are starting with Blue Otter, who is going to be making their way out to the... Nope, it's Nightblood. It's Nightblood Gaming.
Nightblood.
Making their way out to the stage for this quarterfinals matchup.
Now the Vibe Squad, the Goon Squad, as I didn't want to call them
the
earlier.
Goon Squad.
I'll call them that now, because look at them. Bunch of goons. The lot of them. Love it.
The unwanted goons after what the goons played earlier.
Okay. Oh, man, it is.
But it is really such a vibe, really. This team is such a vibe. That's how I would describe it more than anything else. They get along so well. They've meshed together so well. The chemistry is just, it's unfathomable. And I can't wait to see it on the stage.
It's what players thrive for on LAN. It's what they need on LAN, and these guys have it online. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Up next, though, Blue Otter.
They're gonna be looking really strong coming right out into this Icebox. We were talking about previously how they didn't have much time to prepare between matches, but they did have a little bit of time to like rest up and you know, talk things over. They do have a lot of set plans against Nightblood. I'm assuming they've played him a fair amount of times at this point.
The esports pose is so crazy on the far end. That man is ready for
He's ready for the headshot.
He is so ready, dude. Unbelievable. Get that there. Oh my god. Catch that. The walk is crazy. The aura is wild. All right, Renz.
Mad aura.
Mad. So that's Blue Otter, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Otter, again, stepping up with a 3-0 record coming out from the group stage. Again, no surprises on that by any means. NBG, however, again, with the way that they started playoffs, I can only say that these guys, you know, the quote-unquote vibes are going to have to be real high, because at the end of the day, individually, these guys are looking for momentum out of this LAN. They're looking for their first real experience together. Like Screwface, he's been waiting for years for him to have a solid team on LAN and for him to transfer that online. This is a major benchmark for this team. So again, vibes being as high as they are, they can still try to combine their tactical side with that. Just good energy as we finish up the walkouts, and we can start to wind down for the game. Best of 3 again here in quarterfinals. Thank you all for tuning in to Zero In, hosted by none other than Mr. Funhaver. Hosted here in Philadelphia, PA, live from localhost, home of plenty of some of the biggest Valorant tournaments in the history of the game. NBG, Blue Otter stepping in with their agents.
Pretty conventional for the most part here, save for Fair on that Reyna coming in for Blue Water. Rens will indeed go on that secondary duelist, but the secondary might be the primary. The Jet, as Spirits hit. And I get it, honestly, Rens has been a little faster on the drop so far today. I understand if Blue Water wants to go with that, or if Rens just feels a little more comfortable on the Jet, honestly. I mean, we'll go for it, but they will be starting out on that attack. So again, they are going to have to hit the ground running because NBG will put a bullet in their gullet if they're unable to get it together early.
We ended up seeing triple controller earlier, but we're not seeing any of that right now. Single controller for both of these teams, and it's just going to be the old-fashioned Viper. A little bit tough to not see an Omen on either one of these teams, purely because of the verticality, purely because of the TP potential. But ladies and gentlemen, we are off here in quarterfinals. Nightblood Gaming already starting off with a bit of a peak from 2 players in the B side. It's going to be a bit of a tough look here for Fair. Fair looking for that momentum, looking to get some win in his sails. Hasn't been the easiest tournament for him. And he does have a bit of an opportunity. Kumi does go away. Man over in yellow box is going to be his next contact if they want to go for it. You still have some movement from the rest of Blue Water back over towards the mid side. But Noted, slick as per usual. Noted with a 3K to hold B down all by himself. Blue Water already down to 2.
Far more committal out the gate here, and Note's now on track for the ace after doubling down on yellow. He saw the path the second he got that first kill, and he's looking for it now. But Nightblood, I mean, the health pool isn't actually that decent if Zoestill can make a trail fast enough. He could have made it, but
cheeky spot.
Yeah, they'll shut that down. I mean, that was just a terrific start from Note, single-handedly holding down yellow, just getting to walk right back over without any sort of challenge. Nothing was thrown out, nothing was lobbed over. He just got to peek out and have his way with that lane, and that was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, no, wonderful again. That's going to have to come down to Noted being Noted. Noted, again, being speared throughout this tournament, but this time showing it on that defensive side. That's what you have to expect, though, from a Viper. The only other thing that a Viper can really do in that situation is throw down a Molly. They can just play their lives. Great stuff from Noted, but we still have, of course, another actual, kind of a bind here coming in from Blue Water. It's a couple of sheriffs in there, trying to get a couple of long-range interactions, one in B, one in mid, 3 over towards A, but none of these sheriffs are converting at the moment. Player goes down over towards B, and it's not exactly a stressful situation here for Blue Water. They have been able to scale up slightly. These 2 players in the back of A site are kind of corralled. Blue Water lining up for possibly their best chance this round.
A whisper of a stack approaching that A site. And no reason for Nightblood not to pop out and take the occasional pot shot, especially with the help of that toxic screen. Still, Blue Water stay with the soft commit here in the eco. I realize there's no turning back already.
1 enemy remaining.
No way you're going to get a second better opportunity than this one. And it'll get shut down nice and quick. So into the bonus round we go with Nightblood having an insane level of stability to start things out. The bonus into 4 is looking really good to start.
They cannot complain whatsoever about going into this round, or about the way that they're going into this round. Flawless round, flawless economy. Let's tune in with Blue Water as they try to come back.
Can you delay your drone by? He likes to knife. Listen, he knifes B. He likes to knife B like a delay of like 3 seconds.
Just play NC to it.
Delays like 3 seconds sometimes.
Yeah, just wait for the delay. I'm thinking mid.
I'm delaying knife today as well. Flash there.
Flash there.
Running up.
Alright,
Alright, fire it.
yeah.
Dude, that's fine. Slower.
Do it.
Walking up. That's gonna hold, man.
I'm gonna have more gas than him. I'm just gonna walk out on it.
One was mid. Making noise towards B. Yeah. They're running towards B.
Could have been like bait set up maybe.
There was 3A early.
I have 40 fuel.
There's solo B. He's
Dodge now to the side now.
Two more mid.
All's mid down.
No, it's not.
It's
I'll
lower.
orange.
I'm not peeking. Fine.
There's 2 orange.
I'm gonna smoke myself.
It might be one for me, bro. Just
It'll be fine, right?
I want the darts.
25.
Yes, one flash.
Oh my god.
Good flank.
Nice, man.
One flash, care.
Yeah.
Let's see. I pop one.
That's all 3, nobody flank. It's actually so AIDS, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff from Blue Water. Gonna be their round to at least get themselves back into this game. Wasn't a bad response though, or at least a good start coming out from NBG though. You did have Smiley immediately picking out that deep angle into main, but great idea after that, great reaction after that coming out from Blue Water. Blue Water just trying to keep 1 or 2 pieces of presence back over towards mid and over towards A. at the end of the day, that rotation coming back towards site, it's a little bit unfortunate that you don't see that man presence, that hard man presence back over towards site. But at the end of the day, that retake just got nothing done.
Yeah, unfortunate to see nothing really come of, all that primary work that NBG did, but at least they get a couple bodies along the way, and they still have a lot of stability going into round 4. We do have to take a slight pause. We apologize for the delay, but if you couldn't tell, Zeke's mic was a little iffy on that tech check, so we're going to go ahead and make sure that he sounds crystal clear for you all.
Unplug it and plug it back in, please.
But I was going to say, I totally agree with you. And this is kind of indicative of what normally happens with Blue Otter when they meet their faults, is that it just takes a little long to explode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just takes a moment where they're, like, window shopping around these opening lanes, and then they find a site.
They want
like,
to think that they can win the one-on-ones.
Yeah, and I don't think they think that they're as telegraphable as they could be, They think that they are getting a little less red than they are. They're prepared for an opening fight, but they're not necessarily expecting NBG to be as ready for them and as planted for them as they are. I don't see Blue Otter being able to really chip away at any attacking lane enough to justify Nightblood Gaming kind of switching up their plan at the moment. And again, it takes far too long and far too many people dying so far for Blue Otter to make any decent sort of big dump happen to get either onto a site or reclaim it.
Yeah, and I mean, it is still very early in the game for us to really call out that sort of mentality, because at the end of the day, if that does work on Icebox at the bare minimum, you're making those takes so much easier, because you would like to think that after a first pick on A, that first bit of flow chart, if a player's over and short, you would like to think that he has to back up towards a safer spot in sight so he can actually play a little bit more time, so he can delay a little bit more for his teammates. At the end of the day, those early one-on-ones are still very important for Blue Water to try to get, and if they are feeling them, you can't complain about the play style just yet. But again, it is the fact that we are looking at an MBG team that might be a little bit antsy, but that might even play into the favor of Blue Water, because again, they're still playing that buddy system really well. They're still grouping up 3-4 players going into quote-unquote these execs, or at least going into the context of these sites. So at the end of the day, they're not committing. They're showing the same look basically every round right now. No big complaints. You can't have any big complaints just yet.
No.
But that, it can be concerning. It just is going to be in the hands of the NBG for them to try to show a certain look right now. If they show a more aggressive look, we're sure to see at least, whether or not that mentality that Blue Water has right now, whether or not that's really going to work out. Because until then, I agree with you. Blue Water is just taking their time a little bit too much, but at some point, NBG is going to have to bite.
I was going to say, do you think NBG might be shifting the stack too drastically? Because if they are, Blue Water can definitely take advantage of it later on in the half. It's just going to take a second, you know?
Yeah, Icebox just being that big of a map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough, but you already saw it in the first round. This team already just with movement, just with bodies alone, they're already able
they move. They move so fast.
Yeah, but they're already able to put on presence. You know what I mean? Just without the utility, just holding on to specific angles. That alone is already enough to hold rotations, and this team was already able to work off of that immediately. The idea was there immediately as they placed those players in mid, as they placed the players over in A, just so they could rotate the rest of the team back over towards site, back over towards the empty site. Come on, Tim. Figure it out, Tim. Is he relogging back in? Don't zoom in on that.
His game crash?
Don't.
I thought we had a mic issue,
Oh,
y'all.
no, there should be. I mean, don't. Yeah, but mic issue.
Where's Mike? What's his issue? Take a picture.
Somebody find him. Also, we did just see Screwface sprint across us like no more than like 30 seconds ago. That was, oh man, and look at him.
And he's back. Nothing ever happened.
Like literally nothing ever happened.
Cool as a cucumber.
Not breaking a sweat, no deep breathing whatsoever. He was deep breathing, but that was manual.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to catch his breath.
Like he's scuba diving.
Yeah, he was rearranging his aura, dude. Are you saying scuba diving?
Like he's deep diving. Like he's gathering a bunch of air all at once, so it lasts him like 15 minutes.
No, listen, I can only assume how good of a diver Kyle can be. You know what I mean?
That's
I can
true.
only assume.
Hey, he picked up that
breath
raise for
control,
that Invictus match.
I'm sure. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Let's go, Screwface.
Dun, bun, 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 bun. Anyways. Yeah, folks. Again, thank you all for tuning in once again to Zero in Mr. Funhaber's LAN live from Philadelphia, PA. We have a lot more games happening as we speak. We have 3 more games. 3 more?
Yeah, three more. Three more of those
Yes,
QFs
3
happen.
more. Yep, because the round of 16 is over. So all those games, yippee, done for. Y'all can go check out the results over on Battlefy. You guys can check out the results over on VLR. But at the end of the day, these games that you guys are potentially seeing off stream will not be happening tomorrow. We will be having both semifinal games on stream and, of course, the grand finale.
It's going to be a really exciting day tomorrow. I really can't wait. And the top 4 teams, you know, they're going to be really strong no matter what. Yeah. One of them will be this one. We will be seeing and streaming one of these teams tomorrow. Correct. No matter what.
It's going to be some good content to carry over here for the media team. Sure. Work not wasted. You can only imagine the amount of interviews we have with Screwface. You can only imagine. A content machine. But again, here goes Blue Otter once again with that pick and prod mentality that we saw a little bit earlier, that we saw more or less in that first round. And like you said, slowing it all the way down, trying to pick at their opportunities, try to fish out a one-on-one. Nightblood Gaming isn't giving any of it, but at the moment, he's scared for that jet over towards that A site. His angle is consistently changing. He's getting safer and safer, and if anything, he's giving up the site.
Aaron's holding that high ground. Stiff gap, but So finds it, cracks it, and A site is open for business. Blue Otter can hop on, set up shop fully. Get a lot of that KJ util set up early on. Fair already to the high ground. Screwface meeting him there, and Nightblood's gonna try and shuffle this out before the spike can get fully finalized. Renz rotating, pulling down that cloud burst, trying to cover, stall.
Time.
Fireball ops with that reapproach as the rest of Nightblood Gaming comes down. Note the drop, and again, it's gotta be him in the 1v2.
Nobody's swinging the wall. He's not. Does have a molly to use, but that's just gonna be it. They know he's behind this wall.
One's close, one's far. Gotta tap it.
The toxin's back.
That's
so good. Beautiful shock dart. Zeke with a beautiful response. And that is that slow approach working out in their favor just because of just the air of mystery.
That's when we strike.
Yeah, really getting to work around those shrouds. And again, continue to have the personnel advantage the whole way through that fight. Stayed disciplined, stayed active, stayed independent though. A lot of trust that these players hold in one another. Fair, gonna hold on to this outlaw here in round 5, but this attacking squad is already looking to start to generate some decent threats that they can replicate or just, you know, show off.
This is gonna be a little showcase rounds. Let's see it, Renz. Alongside a couple of others, they're gonna be running into a mosh pit of defenders. 4 defenders around this A site, so this isn't exactly impossible here as the flash works out almost for a double frag. Almost could have seen ourselves with a 3-on-3. Instead, Son of Car is not gonna be able to do much from this position. His teammates go down in one fell swoop. Blue Otter, again, no general complaints whatsoever. Nightblood, they just had the right approach there. Screwface with the counter flash.
Spike planted.
Definitely the right way to try to one and done it with your stack.
Look at the ultimates building up.
You see Blue Otter, you know, continuing to window shop in the opening of these rounds, looking from lane to lane, still sticking one in mid, even taking one to, you know, yellow lane to try to fight against Note every once in a while, or Kara if he sticks there, or Renz, excuse me. But at the end of the day, Blue Otter, timing's a lot better to start this thing out. They've been much faster to convert, recognize when a site is open, or when they can at least try and collapse on one. That opener onto A was terrific, watching for Renz the whole time. Really aware, really alert.
This is yet another potential little window shopping position here for Blue Otter, unless they actually execute into tunnel, which they do not, but Fair. He's looking to rebattle this. Fair pulls out the ulti a little bit early, and he finds the 1v1 he wanted, but he doesn't succeed. Screwface takes him out, but Zeke himself gets a massive kill onto the Viper. It's a massive point of defense there for Nightblood Gaming, but they do recollect themselves. They put 2 over towards that A site, and you are going to have Blue Otter going right into that.
They're going to double down on the mid push for now. I sense with no intel being given immediately to the lane, I assume either they're just going to A crunch or they have 2 stuck up to pinch towards the screens link. So they think that a much more formidable push is coming up mid, but Now that enough time has passed, they'll go ahead and switch back to the default hold.
With what flashes though?
There's so much coming towards you.
And they're just waiting for any sort of pixels. Blue Water taking their damn time.
Yeah.
Standing ahead.
There you go. I mean, it really was going to be an ultimate battle at some point. You even see a Viper's Pit ready to go, but this time it's so important. There you go. Lockdown is down. Still have presence on that site. Watch out for the KJ in the back of sight, but the Viper's Pit is going to come up. Kumi looking for an angle. Kumi's not going to find anything. This is going to take forever here. Finally, a pick going through, and that Screwface out of nowhere getting a kill into C. But Zoe ends up catching Kumi and Nightblood. They witness Blue Water take their time. Now they're the ones that basically have to do the same, trying to not make noise, getting into these pits, trying to get a couple of pixels on the extremity of it. But this is looking like a done deal. Rand finds a pixel onto the forehead of Son of Kar. There's one man remaining with super low HP. Good stuff from Smiley to at least catch a single frag there. But Nightblood Gaming, no matter the preparation they had coming into the end of that round, Blue Water, the Viper's Pit was enough.
Getting his own little night market on the way out, choosing what to say. But genuinely, Renz did not have to be doing that much at that point in the round, and yet he's again so willing to bear that load, be more than willing to take on that high ground first, and so actively and immediately that Nightblood's simply been unable to push around it. Really tried to get above that pit, minimize threats outside until they could push on the spike, but instead, it's going to be a full economic reset for Nightblood here for the most part. Got that operator holding on to the lane though.
Deploying drone.
Not a bad spot for now.
Oh, great knife.
Nice.
Alarm bot out.
It's potentially going to be an opportunity here for the Jet, and the Jet did get a shot, but he didn't connect. Still is going to readjust back over towards the back B lane, but look at the shift over from Blue Water almost immediately. They're seeing some pistols. They're taking on some pistol shots. It's real awkward that you're seeing one operator and then the rest of the team still with pistols, so that just has to give Blue Water a bit of a tick here. Just don't go towards the big green. Go towards the weak-ish site, potentially, but for all they know, it might be 3 or 4 players here, and that's exactly what's happening. Noted's going to be able to pick down one. So in the middle of 10-10 is going to be able to take down Noted, with Screwface still alive. Screwface looking for another one, but he's incredibly low. But look at the operator in heaven. Hold on. Screwface to the face of Zoe. Main advantage here for Nightblood. It's not a lost situation, though, at all here for Blue Water. Blue Water still with full control of this site. Reyna coming in is going to have a little bit of util here, but Zeke is just looking to make his job a little bit easier with a pick.
Holding that front line corner as Nightblood Gaming go for the early reapproach on top of a flash. They really want to just enable Son of Kar again.
A little Bogdan's Law.
Yeah.
What you know about Bogdan's Law?
What you know about Bogdan?
Oh goodness, kids these days.
Kar on up, swings out from the block.
One enemy.
To hold the line staunchly. And Nightblood cleans up quick that time around. I am beyond impressed at those Sheriff peaks. Note owned mid, bro.
Yes. And then Screwface, the CEO and owner of A-Site. Beautiful stuff.
I mean, that really, everything coalesced there. Like the knife on top of the lane to make sure that Renz was protected. He took his op shot. He's like, okay, great, I'm found. Let's reposition for the big fight. He does. He gets back over, enables everyone else who's good for their shots. Note manages to pick and chip from mid, and then they have to commit, again, too quick.
Take flight.
That's a great tapestry of a round from MBG to get it back in the order.
Yeah, at the end of the day, a little bit disconnected, to say the least.
One enemy.
It's just, of course, like once they see just basically an empty A site, once they already got so many contacts back over towards mid, back over towards B, you're not going to expect that strong of a man presence. But that's what they were basically feinting. They were just, of course, they were just throwing out the op as it's solo. And then incredibly, the Sheriff in the mid side evaded any sort of mid presence. So, I mean, hey, again, Noted, doing a good job. Screwface, living up to that potential that we were talking about earlier in terms of just being able to frag on his own, being able to stand on his own whenever his util is not necessary, and that's exactly what happened. His util was just not necessary at that moment. They did not need the reset from him. Yeah. He already had the rotation. If anything, they needed him to press W, and they needed him to peek. Good stuff from Screwface. And folks, we have yet another tech polls. Yes, mates.
You're so bad.
Still on it. Still on it.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by the resolve that both of these teams have had. We've already seen some great recoveries on both sides here. Once again, we have other matches going on here that are determining the other semifinalists that you're gonna get to see tomorrow.
Correct.
Pigeons playing Sad Esports in a rematch from their Swiss stage.
Can somebody Periscope stream that?
Get it like Subway Surfers on the side of the screen. And then Legacy Kingdom did end up winning their slog of a 3-mapper. So they're facing off against Rice and Cracker next. Meanwhile, Dynamo, that we got to watch, facing off against Burger Boys. So really tough matchups all around. I imagine the games are just as close as this one.
It's a tight game. Dynamo trying to overcut. Here comes Son of Car. Son of Car with an easy pick for the first. Rens and a weird one-on-one, but it's Son of Car again.
Sure.
Dips in and out of the window, takes down Red. And now Kumi collecting yet another frag. 3 picks in the mid side. Blue Otter. Really for the first time, they've been caught off in that mid side. They've been poking and prodding, and yes, they've been spotted at the bare minimum, but they haven't been cut down from that position by any means. Nightblood Gaming, first time that they showed that presence back over towards Kitchen, is the one round that they were able to bite down on that presence from Blue Water. So it's not to say that they're going to completely abandon that area going forward, but Blue Water, at the bare minimum, humbled.
Absolutely. Yeah, scooping way more value out of that than Blue Water would have wanted, even if they lost that in a macro sense. But they've been continuously challenging these mid picks and continuously losing them. The North American mentality is keep challenging them until you get better, but the scoreboard's going to show at some point. And yeah, Nightblood's not letting that cut through. I think they really want to try and facilitate a fast-paced crunch onto B via under the tube. I think they're really trying to make that happen right now. I mean, you see how much Renz is just gunning it for that tube out the gate.
Double up.
Zostal right behind him, but they're just not letting it happen. They're going for that instant denial at the gate every time because they know that B-Link is the most vulnerable way in for NBG to just, or for Blue Water rather, to just get that done lickety split.
No, hold on now. You got a cannon on both of these teams. Screwface sticking up at the back of A with the operator, and now deep into mid right now. It's gonna be the Jet. There's no way that he has this deep of an angle. Son of Car. Waiting for any sort of pick back over towards the A site.
He's gonna stick that.
Yeah, definitely spotted him. Oh,
he does not care what he throws that up.
Makes sense. Kumi's gonna be able to take down the one. Good stuff from Renz, tracking through the smoke. Gonna be able to pick up his all-trusty operator, but it's gonna be 3 players over towards B. Spike heading back over towards A. This is now down to a single player. Bear getting into a big interaction, picking up one, looking for a second, has the headshot angle, doesn't even need it. Takes down Note. Now hold on now. It's Smiley, and he goes down immediately. Yeah, that's the round. Blue Water just stomping all over the mid side. And like I said, it's not exactly that they're gonna stop giving up that presence in mid, but yeah, they got humbled. They just had to readjust.
I mean, Fair was completely cornered by the time he had made it up that far, and then he doubles back down.
He just wins.
And just wins. Kumi's gonna salvage as many guns out of this as he can. Uh-oh, yeah, too much to check. And that, I mean, that's exactly what you need to do for Blue Otter. Don't hit that portal over or under the tube because you know Carr has such an easy sightline. Challenge inside the tube, but check it first in case he goes forward. And Carson did go forward, and then he stuck around way too long. He stuck around on top of that peak even after he was confirmed, doubly confirmed. And at that point, they're going to be able to prep something to swing him. They have the Blade Storm ready. They're going to collapse on that. And from there, you have the easy 2 presence because you know that Carr was the one who walked up. There's going to be a lot of open space into that kitchen.
Yeah, it's so disappointing because, again, because of how forward he was in that mid position, there was going to be nobody there to be ready to support him. So by the time that presence comes into the bottom of mid, whether or not it's in tunnels or not, because he could have easily just died from bottom mid, still by the time that those players are up into tunnel, the players on the defensive side can barely get into kitchen. Blue Water finding the right combination that last round, taking advantage. One bad interaction here for Nightblood, and that's a terrible interaction. Nobody in the mid side. Fireball Ops taking full advantage of Nightblood Gaming. One more player in this backside to try to take on, and there is going to be a turret to kind of evade that cheeky interaction against Noted. But this is now just become a head scratcher.
Total reversal of mid control. This is so odd. How Nightblood has completely abandoned this after it getting anti-conditioned once. And now Blue Water are the ones who look even further set up in here.
Last player standing.
Locked down.
Wow.
This is such a terrific macro adjustment over the course of only 4 or 5 rounds. I'm so wildly impressed by how quickly they were able to compress that mid site that they wanted so bad that whole half, and now they own it.
Yep. Just a couple of interactions. Like, it's ridiculous that, of course, you know, quote unquote, they have it, but they gave it to him.
Yeah, it was open that time.
I just have no idea how that ever happens because of how much presence they had consistently back over towards the mid side. So, Nightblood Gaming, still depending on Kumi at least for potentially the future of this half, but economically speaking, there's not going to be anything done to their opponents. Huge return to form here for Blue Water. And if anything, this is a major question mark for Nightblood Gaming. That is just their decision-making getting questioned a little bit. Let's see how they respond, folks.
Hunter's Fury and Lockdown free. You know that opposing one is on the way, but NBG, notorious improvisers. So you never really know how much they're going to commit at the drop of a hat here. All depends on how much momentum they can find, and that is not a good start. Carr walking up again, this time on the blades. Head gets seen and popped. Now approaching yellow. Water have more than enough. Note, back here again, and he hasn't lost yet. Finally, dumbed down on. Ren's up on top of a flash. Next line of defense is Screwface, and he is also good for 1. Nightblood continue to keep it even, and now that Hunter's Fury coming in to attempt to slow things down. It leads to another trade. Kumi to Fireball. Meanwhile, Zoe getting that frag open and forcing Nightblood to check their 6s as the spike gets tapped. But still 50 seconds to play with. Blue Water will just expand onto site.
Zoe, Kumi.
Had to check.
I guess so. It's still just a tough look there from Kumi. Kumi is not expecting that by any means. Here comes Smiley. As a Viper spin in front of him, they finally go for the plant. Yeah, that makes sense. No plant. That's a check.
30 seconds
One-on-one with the
left.
Viper. Smiley looking for a pixel. Just around the corner. He's gonna find him. He's not gonna find the frag.
Last round in the half.
And this is that build-up from Blue Water that we were looking for, where you were hoping that they wouldn't lose too much along the way. Nightblood were able to continuously scratch and claw at those important puzzle pieces to the commitment that Blue Water is going for, but this time it was Blue Water that kind of took the wheel there and steered that kill ladder to where it was always in favor of them.
Hold on now, Screwface, off position, and Son of Carr just not in the right position at the right time. Comes in a little bit late, back over towards yellow, and he needs to step up to the plate here. Viper wall up, Fireball up, so he is going to be stepping up with the Killjoy all the way back over in the mid side. He's still going to have range on his Alarm Bot. Alarm Bot does catch Fireball, but this is a V formation.
It's a big sell.
Victory formation here coming out potentially with the spike plant. This is going to be
Initiated.
Owl drone coming back up towards that mid side. That already evades the contact coming out from the Killjoy, even though they can definitely predict that the Killjoy is back up towards the mid side. Plants, easy plants here for Blue Water. They hold on to the lockdown, red carpet their way in. 3 players already looking to peek, but
Spike
lack
planted.
of presence here from Blue Water. They back out of this site immediately. They're gonna play with their mollies. They're gonna play
Yeah.
with the Hunter's Fury.
This is going to be necessary for them, and the lockdown as well. They already used most of their kits just to get back on the site in the first place. They tried to stop the spike plant, but it was just a little too late. No chip damage either, and like you said, Blue Water are such a fair distance away. Speaking of fair, that guy's all the way in the back of spawn. Scary position for Nightblood to be as they make their reapproach. Nobody detained, Smiley up. And now the Hunter's Fury coursing on top of that spike, just wasting time after time. There's fair. There's that back line, and the pit taken care of as well. With that double duelist is once again able to shine and deal the rest of the damage at a moment's notice. So an 8-4 half for Blue Water. Again, just seesawing their way back into the round every time, lobbing advantages until one sticks, and it looked like a really tremendous attack at the end of the day.
Yeah, and again, the fact that it was so methodical, right? We were basically trying to compare them with the last Icebox game that we saw, and that was aggression in your face. Even with the triple controller, those smokes, once they went up, the players needed to exit with them, so that just added on to pressure of just, you know, once there's a bit of an opening, you attack. You know what I mean? Or once you even expend any sort of utility, you expend any sort of pressure, you have to execute. With this team, though, they can pick and prod. They can absolutely play the lurks. They are playing with so much time on the clock. I was gonna say maybe last game, you know, these rounds were gonna take absolutely forever. This game was gonna take forever. This game should take forever. Nightblood Gaming, though, let's see what the response that they have. They already have Son of Car taking down the first peak. Blue Otter giving up 2 picks immediately, but this is Zeke. Zeke stepping up right behind Yellow, able to pick down 2, and that's a major kill coming up from Screwface 2. But Renz picks away at 2 immediately. Headshot onto 1, his second bullet connects onto another. Now it's a 1-on-1. He has no idea what the KJ is. KJ's so disconnected. We're talking about some long rounds. This one is gonna be a slog. 55 seconds left in this round. Renz back over in kitchen, allowing this space for Kumi. Kumi, all he can do at this point is just start to scratch his head, potentially start to expend a little bit of util.
Yeah.
He's gonna lock down.
Pressure's on
A
him.
bit of a flank, but this is everything here for Renz. He hears that spike tick, he sees it, but no, that was almost some terrible, terrible timing from Renz. And indeed, it's enough for Kumi to find the pixel and to find the headshot.
And it looked like Nightblood's round the whole way through. Zeke putting a nice stopper from Yellow again, but Nightblood, they've heard that story before. Screwface able to put a nice stopper in it by taking the inward angle, and from there, Blue Otter gets sent into a bit of a panic mode by trying to hold down that damage control. Renz ends up finalizing that though, grabbing that last 2. The remainder of the health pool was a little shaky, so able to finish that off. But from there, Kumi, I mean, so much pressure is on, absolutely no idea where he's extended from. So much time given for him to double back. But
That's why that had to be
instead
lucky.
just hops back on. It really was a lot of luck involved. That turret set up at least to prevent him from swinging early, but still had to come to the swing, and Kumi winning that massive for Nightblood coming into the remainder of this half.
Absolutely. Blue Otter could have found themselves expanding on that extra credit that they ended up finding at the end of that first half. 4 rounds advantage, now slowly dwindling. This is gonna be Zoe with nothing to use here on site, nothing to really hold things down. Classic is going to be his only opportunity. Potentially a molly to try to delay a little bit of that plan. But at the end of the day, this team is really all depending on this Viper. They were depending on that 3-man push into B-main.
You see, Noah was the one who swung in first on his own screen.
Because why not?
Unbelievable. They just have so much faith in him, and it's justified. He
has faith in himself.
Out of his mind. Great hold from Carr with this sniper. Just a couple extra seconds they're shaving off without too much of a threat of an explosion. Because again, Blue Water, they're going to dump.
Here's the methodical approach once again. Everybody grouping up together, all 5, regardless of whether it's pistols or with rifles. They are stepping up as a system, as a group.
It feels like they have a checklist before they walk into the site.
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. Again, when I said methodical, I meant like it's as methodical as just any very process-oriented.
Yeah, it's a great routine.
This is incredible. Blue Otter not going to be able to win out the round, but they're getting one. They end up getting 2 kills for their favor, but it's not going to be enough. Good stuff from Nightblood, holding on to the guns that they want. And ladies and gentlemen, this next round is massive for Nightblood Gaming. Let's listen in.
We can hit the cheese touch, low key.
Yeah, I'm actually down to hit cheese touch on him. See how they're playing. Yeah. Can we hit cheese touch off my knife? Like I'm gonna knife like normal.
If you want to call it off. That's you.
Yeah, let's do the double lurk mid. Let's do the double lurk mid this round. I'm gonna knife A, and then I'm gonna cross, and then I'll flash the turret for you guys as I cross.
Okay.
And we're gonna drum B.
Split. We're doing the blaster. I'm going under. Okay.
Wait, broke it from under.
You already call.
Yeah, call it.
Flash whenever.
3, 2, 1, bang.
Under.
There's no turret.
Poison's off.
Turret's kitchen.
40 on Killjoy. Under.
Sitting in the orb. His
Alarm
just went down.
If his alarm went down, he pushed mid.
I came back up now.
Yeah,
Can we flash out yellow?
Yeah, call it.
Ready? Soon.
2 wall up.
3, 2, 1.
Poison's gone.
Jumping up, fight.
Enemy
Nice, nice. Can we flip?
Yeah.
You will down, Jin?
Enemy remaining.
I'm hit.
I'm stunning.
Could be flank as well.
That could be flank.
Don't pick it up.
Be up.
I can pick it up.
I'm just gonna hold orange and die for it.
The patient monkey eats. The patient caterpillar turns into a butterfly and flies away.
Shut the fuck up. I'm so locked right now. Stop. You fucking pussy.
Two. Or four.
Right side,
you fucking
right side,
bitch.
like mid.
Ah, he got me. Okay, chill. Okay, wait a second. Nice. Good bonus. Let's go. That's so good, bro.
Nice.
Dude, all right, listen. Let's just play it double insert. But like, can we do passive double insert unless my knife hits 0 and then you guys?
God, I would pay to listen to that all game.
All
I love
day.
their comms so much. And you notice, I think that, again, the confidence that they gain the second they get an advantage is really something to behold. You saw the second that they had the better guns, the second that they had a personnel advantage, Renz was already in Narnia playing out on top of, or excuse me, Son of Car was already in Narnia, playing outside of Snowman and just gathering those last couple kills, making sure that this was easily finalized. I think you're going to see NBG really try to fly around.
Nailed them.
This is NBG at the moment, having 2 players all the way over in B, but like you said, flying around. They got 3 players over on A, ready to go. And this alone from Son of Car is enough for that B side to be pretty much swept up. That Viper could have had a second step up to try to clean things up a little bit, just try to collect something for the rounds. But yes, Blue Otter, they're dealing with a bit more of a segmented Nightblood gaming. Regrouping the efforts. They're going to be running into a bit of a knife. This just has to be a highlight moment here from Renz alongside Zeke. Has to be player of their lives, basically. They want to win this one out. Here comes the first sheriff, got the first sheriff contact. Note, not able to find anything. The knife backing up a little bit. But look at this angle from Renz. Renz looking for a couple of headshots. That high angle, not good enough for him, and he's not going to be able to get anything. So trying to do something with the stinger. Zeke trying to do the same with the sheriff, but it's just not going to happen. NBG survive with 3 players going into the next round. This is it now. Guns for both teams.
Yeah, just waiting out that recon dart from Zeke, I think, was all NBG were trying to do. Again, they really do understand the variables that could come up when playing against Blue Otter, the ability to just completely bulldoze you at a moment's notice. And so they really want to make sure that as few tools are at Blue Otter's disposal. And Nightblood Gaming have been playing with the clock very well. They've, I think that they've facilitated rounds to the point where there's always time left for them to work with what they need to. I think Blue Otter's doing the same thing, though. I think when the retake game starts, they are starting to get a lot more proactive. Their rhythm's getting really good.
Nightblood Gaming doesn't look like they're looking to get this early A interaction by any means, or they're not just trying to make it a one little bit of contact. They are trying to move up the effort. There's Fair. Fair snaps onto Kumi. There's still going to be a couple more opportunities here for Fair. But Santa Fury did sort of evade the early presence for Nightblood Gaming. They reset a little bit. It's a beautiful reset, but there goes Smiley, able to take down Fair. But the movement is there for Blue Otter. They still have the util in the back of sight, just so they can delay the time. And there goes the Molly that allows a little bit more time for the rotations to come in for this defensive side. But at the end of the day, Nightblood Gaming, they're just waiting for the fixes. And unfortunately, depending on who you're a team of, Zoe finds the angle right from below where anybody from Nightblood was watching. And now 4 on 2.
That Hunter's Fury didn't catch him?
Unbelievable.
Are you kidding me? They're gonna have to re-clear this.
Are they gonna clear it though?
There.
Blue Otter might keep 4 guns out of this.
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, he was going to repeat that angle anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Smiley ends up going down at the very end. That is first round of the half for Blue Otter.
Ultimately, I mean, that round was definitely a little weird, for sure, from NBG. It just didn't feel as clear or structured as other ones, unfortunately. Seemed like they were just getting stopped up too often, and yeah, this was a bit of a head scratcher. Nothing clipping Zoe.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
favoring the fight instead, I suppose. Like, I don't know. Didn't even clip him.
Aggression from Blue Otter. They're clearing out A main potentially very soon. That rotation could be coming in a little bit earlier than usual, but this is already more presence from Nightblood Gaming in this B main area than what we've seen really for this entire half. other than the rounds that they had the economic advantage, basically, or they were even with the other team. Nico, so he's gonna have a lot of work to do here. He's in a one-on-one against Suncar, turns the corner, not gonna be able to get anything. This is Nightblood Gaming, being able to plant at the bare minimum. Guns are here for Blue Otter. Util is here for Blue Otter. Angle is there for Zeke. We're back down to a 4-on-3.
Still rotating back, though, and Kumi holding up the flank watch, so Blue Otter, again, has to watch their backs. You already see Ren's kind of second-guessing this hold with the operator. So much to double-check, especially with Kumi already getting that kill. Blue Otter is so slowed down this round. Nightblood were able to bludgeon B-site this time with the help of that screen. And a terrific double crunch from Karin, noted to each take care of a threat. Great teamwork. Looks like Blue Otter is still going to be able to hold on to some guns, though, including that operator for Ren's. So at the end of the day, both teams looking pretty economically stable coming into the finality of this first map. We haven't really seen any strict advantages be drawn. It feels like both teams are trying to profess boundaries with a little more vocally. Like they're trying to sound the bullhorn a little more often on top of these sites and just completely overwhelm.
Yeah, it is establishing a little bit of that, a little more presence, basically. Just trying to make sure that that conditioning is well known. You know, if you do end up getting into the position that you want, basically, but you're not getting the presence that you want, there still is. They're gonna stick around for a little bit longer. They might even pull out that extra bit of utility just to even just show that, like, hey, this side is ours. Which is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. It's not exactly conducive to just, you know, the shock, you know, of just having 3 players running into a man on an off angle. Still, it is methodical with the sense that you're getting all of that information. You are forcing the other team into the other side of the map, and they have to fight. They have to expend util really early into the sites to try to get in. A big shot coming out for Ren's, but this is mostly a Nightblood Gaming take. Son of Car for a beautiful position, but this position is even better. Fireball off, looking for 4. He's able to get 2 out of it. My goodness, he did put in the work just to make this possible for his teammate.
As Zostal makes the long climb back. Nightblood now have so much in the cycle available. Holding on 2 guns here would be massive. Face, close hold, could activate the swing, but instead, just double back on the stack, minimize the threat, take care of business. So Nightblood will take back that lead, have a decent amount of ultimates to work with as well to get started with.
Yeah.
Again, the bank very much built up by this round. And a couple crucial openings on both sides getting let open. Son of Car and Ren's are really starting to find the moments of fatigue on the other side.
A little bit. It is just coming down to Icebox being as, you know, as much of a sniper's paradise as it is.
Of course.
You know, you get into any sort of common position, you just wait for those pixels to come in, you slow peek. You know, you slow peek those back angles, and ultimately, what you think is a good angle as a defender, your shoulder is going to show at some point with how weird the verticality would be coming in from that ramp side. As we fade back into the game, we are looking at this attack side, fully committing back into A, and they do once again, just fishing for pixels. Nightblood Gaming taking a piece out of Blue Otter strap book, slowing things all the way down, forcing their opponents to react.
Double dipping in the fishing spot, but Blue Water's stack is stuck around, far stronger one. That Nightblood still have to fight, but Fireball Ops is gonna give himself away, and even trying to grab that gun, there's some pixels to spot.
A judge.
Toxin screen down.
I mean, that is a big round for Nightblood now. No ults necessary as well, just again,
Spike planted.
looking for chump change, and you come up with 2 kills.
Speaking of chump change, the other team is going to be real weak.
Yeah, this is a really good path to a 12-9 for Nightblood. On the attack here, with both the Fury and the Lockdown, I mean, you can really clear the board whichever way you want, and A-Site has yet to be re-unlocked by Blue Water. Because, I mean, what do you do other than just ask Ren's very kindly to peek back and do it himself?
Yeah, it seems pretty easy, but again, at this point, you are finally seeing an unlocked Son of Car. In that first half, he was getting pressured out. He was getting off timing. He doesn't need to do any of that over towards the A side. Over towards B, maybe a little bit of a tougher time, especially because it's really one-track minded. There's only one lane for you to look at. He can expand himself a little bit more on A, maybe have a little, at the bare minimum, on this attack side here on A. He could just hold his positions. He does not need to peek into a bad spot, basically, or just wait for a wide swing. These defenders shouldn't be wide swinging his positions, basically. They should be showing the pixels a lot slower than what he was experiencing in that first half. Son of Car does have that angle once again. No presence from Nightblood Gaming in the rest of this map. The lockdown coming in, it's fairly necessary just to get that red carpet into sight. This is going to be the Viper's bid just to establish this team on site, but will they be able to hold on to it from behind the lockdown? Renz from up top, cooped up, looking for an angle, but Kumi finds him instead. What a shot from Kumi. And this Viper's bid is going to stay up. Zeke going down to 1 HP, waiting for a pixel, waiting for a headshot. Kumi's able to do his business. Smiley still waiting for the Hunter's Fury. Nightblood Gaming putting everything into this round to just try to make it to 12, and they are going to succeed. Blue Otter leveled just Zeke, and he runs away.
I'm so impressed by that Nightblood round, despite the fact that some ults did end up getting used. In particular, the Hunter's Fury was very late. Like, they didn't use it to counter the lockdown. They instead used it to re-clear the Viper's Pit when they went for their second wave approach, because they knew that Blue Otter was going to come with so much on their own lockdown. They would rather just take the fight instead of letting people W key when they're focused on that lockdown.
And the Viper's Pit was just beautiful. It was right outside of the range of the
diabolical.
lockdown. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they were consistently going to have presence on site, quote-unquote, just because of the pit.
Yeah. Now here, I do believe Blue Otter actually did buy into that round too, so this one might be a little cooked.
Yeah, and you can tell that this is the time to get some more time. Need to think about their buy. They finally pull out a bit of a timeout.
Really tough call to, I mean, because it's tough to shift anything that they're doing at the moment. They just stacked 4 on A to try to still duke it out and find the early kills, and they still weren't able to come up with enough. Nightblood reset and came back in. We're able to take the better angles again. I think Blue Otter needs to really focus on trying to facilitate that timing themselves. I think they tried to do that with the lockdown that last round, where they were going to throw it down, press the issue while that Hunter's Fury was proccing, have the personnel advantage by like a hair. But no ults on the board. You got to do that artificially here.
Yep.
Or just by shooting better.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. That it was just a weird investment into that round, because not exactly everyone invested. In theory, of course, you have a reason to just hold on to that lockdown until that next round, but good to see that Blue Otter was still just going for the win, basically, here on this map, but now they have to go for the tie. They have to go for overtime. This is going to be Renz pushing out so aggressively here. This is the first time in a long time, also, that we get presence from Nightblood back over towards B, and this is one of the only times that we're seeing Blue Otter potentially walk away from B without making a single peek on. Well done, Smiley. Oh, well done, boys. Playing a game of hot potato with Spike.
A double presence on the inside of Tube. Wondering, again, how long Blue Otter is going to decide to hold that far forward. The 2-man instead of the 1 that Nightblood was using last half. So a little more stability, but also the potential to still crunch. Op's going to be given away by Blue Otter here at the 52nd mark. As Nightblood still try to look for the proper opening. We've slow walked all the way up to yellow, though. Note, again, owns this box.
Poison's off.
Rotation is slowly coming in for Blue Otter. There goes the wall, the molly, right into a good spot. And with no wall, Noted just peeks into his own wall. Amazing. But there goes Fair. Takes him down. Plan should be going down very safely here. Nobody back over towards Snowman, making that deep pick. This is going to be real difficult here, but this could be made a lot easier by Son of Car, playing with a couple of long-range interactions. A couple of players tucking their tails back into main. You have 2 players just sticking around, just waiting for the cross back over towards yellow, and just nothing from Blue Otter. No kills coming back and forth, but finally, there goes a kill for both Smiley and Fireball Ops. 2 more for Blue Otter. The man on site is the right man on site to have. They do have the smokes down to try to delay some time. Fair and Renz collect the frags they need. It's all in through phase, and both of them let off that spike to try to re-peek, and somehow more than enough time to try to get that defuse. No matter how slow that Blue Otter took that outside experience, I mean, at the end of the day, the players in yellow just could not get any sort of look.
No, that was great pressure that was thrown onto Carr on top of yellow. You had to throw absolutely everything at him, especially when the knife was used from the lane. You just really had to start pressuring that, and Blue Otter read it, especially since it was such slow going getting up until that point. But you're finally able to take him down. You have to spread your resources back out for NBG. That means you're able to sort of surf your way into the middle of that sandwich that is between lane and yellow. And again, Terra Cave in that fight. Blue Otter able to eventually do that, play enough keep away. And yeah, I don't know how they had enough time with that spike. It felt like they took forever to get there, but whatever works to get to that point of explosion that makes Blue Otter so strong, that makes them such a threat still in this map, whatever works.
There, look at this spark things up here for Blue Otter. This is going to be a beautiful environment. He can actually exec on it. Shows his presence. Still looking for an angle. So is able to pick him out instead. Son of Carr now in an off one-on-one potentially, but he tries to back on away. Blue Otter's taking pressure. Nightblood away from the site. They have more than enough time to try to back out though, and they had the bodies that they wanted. But oh my goodness, I was going to say that went from a 4-on-4 almost to a 4-on-2. Thankfully, that shot ends up missing, but Zoe still finding another one-on-one. Nightblood Gaming is still re-execing into this site that they know that the beast is sitting in. Everyone from Blue Otter has the crossfire ready for the choke point. Blue Otter resets. They're able to get themselves into 11. It's been a streak of losses here for Nightblood Gaming. They might be going into the last round of regulation with scraps.
And you can see why Blue Otter hates to spread thin and loves to take their time. You see each player preparing those resources. You see it. You see them getting those cornerstones prepared, and then you see it all come together. And it really does work out so well for Blue Otter when it works, when those shots land. And ultimately, that denial on the lane, it was a little late, but it did come in time. Now, Nightblood having to call the timeout because of it. The fights have gotten too formidable, and like you said, they're going to be working a little bit light coming into this round. So does the plan become switch back to that strong A that we were using to search for those long-range kills, grab a couple sheriffs, and we'll just work it? Or do you start playing mid a little bit again? Do you start trying to look for that first kill like Blue Otter was in the opening of this game?
It's just... it's the fact that B has been so on and off.
Yeah.
They could hard clear B, and they could easily get that 4-man presence into the backup site ASAP.
The screen is so good for it. It's so easy.
Blue Otter works. They're just that slow.
Yeah, no, but if they're able to take the site,
they are that slow at the moment in terms of their attacks.
No, they get halfway to the point. Blue Otter makes that crucial decision of do we back out, do we stay together? And again, they're so unified. They're so committed to playing on top of one another because that's when they're so damn strong. I mean, you saw the second they decided to just crunch forward again, they looked insane.
Oh, this is it. The interaction of the ages. Owl drone on the front side. Fair needing to back away immediately. You still have Zeke waiting for that information. He's going to throw out a recon bolt very quickly here. It's just a single bullet. They already know that there's at least a single player here. But this is just ridiculous here for Nightblood Gaming. 4 players surrounding this site. They only have 2 to deal with. This is best case scenario. Blue Otter not biting down on any piece of information, still trying to hold for a potential lurk back over towards A. And if anything, Nightblood Gaming can easily still rely on that lurk, but it's not happening. Son of Carr takes down Z. This should be the site at the moment, but Zoe does have that game sense. A is able to pick away through the wall, and now Blue Otter, more than enough time to get these 3 players around B site in a lot more comfortable of a position. Now wait, this has been the ace in the pocket of Nightblood Gaming. Kumi on A.
But with Zoe still alive, holding back from Snowman, the second they call that, they can pull that back up. But Kumi, great creep kill to activate the A site and get Nightblood to scurry on over. But Bear holding outside the smoke down mid, that is beyond unexpected.
And the control isn't there. A hasn't been taken yet.
They still got to get on site. Alarm bot is set up. We got a little bit of time.
Be able to plant. Hold it. He has that cross. Nobody got the cross. Plant down, but there goes Fireball Ops. Everyone has already rotated into the back of site here for Blue Otter. They have corralled the last year from Nightblood Gaming into the choke point. Back into main. Kumi, however, able to stand on his own. He's standing side by side with Screwface. He just doesn't have the HP for it, but he just doesn't find the bullets. Barely missing out. But now it's just down to the 1-on-2. Screwface, can he be the hero? That kill from Zoe was everything. That kill from Zoe got the Viper's pin up. Shotgun coming in. Fair gets the kill, and that is overtime. What a comeback.
Getting over the line, whatever it takes, and Zostel's self-preservation wins out after Zeke stays in front of that toxic screen to try to hold down the fight. At the end of the day, it's the follow-up frag that takes them out, not that one-man presence that would try to intimidate them in the first place. It takes a village to try to stop Nightblood Gaming, and at the end of the day, the village called, the village came, and Nightblood, they turned tail. They tried to turn around onto that A side, and it looked great. Kumiya made that space, but then he doubles back with so little on the clock because the team is so far out. He still feels like he has so much to re-clear. They get on site, they get the spike down, they get some good space, but Blue Otter still has more to offer, and that pit.
And it's just incredible too, because Nightblood Gaming, they maintain the three-man presence, or excuse me, Blue Otter, they maintain that three-man presence back over towards B for so long. If anything, they just had no idea where two of those players were. They could have easily been in that mid side for that quick interaction, so that's why Kumi, he just couldn't cross over confidently. If anything, maybe a junk peek just tried to peek in or just to try to bait in a bit of a bullet, but no sir, we move on, and it's gonna be all in from Blue Water going into the middle of this A side, all five going into A. You do have a bit of a response, Screwface throwing in a flash, but they do have the spike in the right position. Nobody from Nightblood Gaming getting a single pixel whatsoever. This is going to be a car crash between both of these teams. Nightblood Gaming just has to mosh pit. They just have to waterfall back into sight. Blue Water, they have so much control. That Viper wall is up against screens. Son of Car, however, is able to get a big frag off of that. Ren's still roaming the middle of sight. He's going to be the one that has to find the pixels, that has to find the early interactions. This wall is going to go down anytime now. This defensive wall is down. Rans has the opportunity, but not able to get a frag. Son of Car and Noted with some huge frags, and now there's only a 1v3, long range with just a rifle. Noted gets him, and that's the round.
You saw Blue Water continue to try to play that distance after a beautifully executed A site, but Nightblood, they speed ran that execution on the retake and got through those fights from the belt like it was nothing. Noted, again, stepping up to the challenge on the front lines of all places to work off of his own utility. He knows it better than anyone else, and he's gonna let you know.
And that's the ridiculous part. Again, that wall just covering him, the midway point of that site, nobody wanted to fight it, which in general, Blue Water, they maintained that control of sight for so long back in that first half. And if anything, Nightblood Gaming's big point was just not being able to get any sort of break-in back into sight. Somehow, one piece of utility and one swing, technically able to do it, but Nightblood Gaming, excuse me, Blue Otter did not fight that back sight presence as much as I thought they would. That was just a bit of a misstep. Let's see what happens in this next round, as this could be Nightblood Gaming closing things up. Son of Car looking to get right in their face, and he is able to get the frag. Renz, however, looking to do the same. Picks up one, but not a second. He needed a second to really make this possible for his team. But if anything, Son of Car continuing to frag, and now there's only one more remaining. Fireball Ops, real far away from this site, trying to pick away at a 1v3, and he does technically have a one-on-one for himself here. Util is going to be there. You do potentially have shock darts. You do potentially have the nano swarms. Very lethal utility, but there's the first kill from Fireball Ops. And there's the mollies that we were talking about. Could be the shots coming in soon, could be the angles. Fireball Ops just going for the defuse. Oh, could have stuck it off the jump peak just so he could get down to half, but it's not happening. The shock darts landing in perfectly. And Fireball Ops just barely evading it. This is just a done deal. Nightblood Gaming just needs a single bullet to the kneecap, and the time's already over. Beautiful shots from Fireball Ops. And even with the half, or without the half, it is over. Nightblood Gaming closing out map 1.
But it was a rough endeavor, continuously upstarted by Blue Water, continuously interrupted, and it's what this team excels at. It's what we expect to see going into map 2. Ultimately, Nightblood was able to finish overtime off of just keeping moving forward. Yeah. Moving on with that aggression and with that confidence that they know they had. Car looked a lot better, a lot more ready to end that game once it was 13-12. And from there, everyone was just flying with that W key. Felt a lot more confident towards the end of that. Now, there's no looking back.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see more or less that mentality change from Noted as the round goes on, right? Yeah. He knows that his util is so pivotal. It was pivotal for that retake, but he puts himself in the right position. He's able to play around it, just drop absolutely everything, just focus on the frags, and that's absolutely what he was excelling at throughout this game. Not just, of course, just his presence alone off the utility, but my God, Noted. Pressing that mouse button was all that this man kind of needed to make an impact in this game. Got to give it up, of course, still to the fact that you still had Renz trying his absolute hardest for this team. You still had so many spotlight moments for the other team throughout this game. Fireball Ops was somebody, to me, that he was maybe a little bit more spotty, but when he stepped up, he did end up taking rounds completely on his own. Fair, this was the spotlight game for him. Finally a game where Fair is able to get off the leash and he's able to frag around wherever he wants. Now, did that maybe come at a detriment if he ends up losing out that interaction? Sure, but he won, and that's all that matters.
Exactly, and that could be so much more applicable to Haven as well, having someone be able to kind of lurk or roam. You can really put anybody on that role. I do expect them to put Renz on that role, though, at least as that secondary person on the outskirts of a push, or at least a default. I think that they're going to start placing a lot more responsibility on him now that he doesn't necessarily have to op every round, but the individuality from him is looking really solid coming out of this game. Really, Blue Water looks very good coming out of this game. The structure feels so there. How they play still works in this LAN setting. They're able to still get everything together, have enough time to dole out the resources, and dish out that aggression their way. But it still didn't get them far enough in this map, and now they're one map away from getting tossed out of the tournament.
Yeah, and it's a tough look too, because it's not like they didn't have the right setups basically for a lot of these rounds. These rounds were some disrespectful rounds coming in from NBG. You still had heavy presence in the back of these sites. These sites were not for free by any means from NBG. Of course, you know, I only say this because of the fact that, you know, usually you're gonna have 1, 2, 3 rounds where they're just able to play out the rest of the map, you know, in a good way. They're able to push players onto one side of the map and able to rotate to the other. But that just did not happen this game. Whatever bait that they were pulling out, whatever presence that they were pulling out on the other side of the map, it was just not biting for Blue Water, and they were still able to re-exec.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in the scoreboard. Everyone really was able to pop off. Honestly, on both sides, there wasn't really any super straggler outside of this matchup. But no. Carr, obviously, the dog getting let off of the leash. 9 opening kills for that. That has got to be a big part of this matchup and something that makes Son of Carr so consistent and good for Nightblood Gaming.
Yeah, no, the Opera's Paradise did come out a little bit in that map, but Son of Carr, of course, is going to be able to take advantage of that mentality. But you can't complain about 9 first kills. And 9 first kills is absolutely unbelievable. Necessary, almost, for the fact that, again, like I was saying about these approaches, these first kills, some of them ended up coming in 30, 45, almost a minute into these rounds, purely because, again, you did have Blue Water start to play around with that presence a little bit, back over towards the other side of the map, and they would just leave. NBG, they would just leave that one man there.
Yep.
Son of Carr still did his job to just make that retake just that little bit easier. Folks, they're going to send you all over to a break. Let's take things easy a little bit. We're going to have a bit of time to get yourself some water, to get yourself some snacks, because, folks, we have an exhilarating BO3 in front of us. Will Blue Water get eliminated? Will we see NBG move on? Let's see what happens after the break.
She riding my little pony, call me Bridget, Al Capone, smooth and cold, last names and bones. She said I taste sweet like soba, taking my big ass bag from Sony. I'm designing my shit Adobe, sailed in 7 seas, got thick like Moby. Crazy little freak, tryna jump in my sheet, cause she know that I do the do. Quick little snap and a quick little shake, yeah, I'm feeling like Fu Manchu. Yeah, I'm swinging big dick energy. Yeah, my shawty's got them triple D. I stay crossing off of my list, got my money in my bitch. That's a check, 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 check. Bought my mama dinner at the crib, could retire off of this wrist. That's a check, check, check. I'm like la 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 la, la 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 la, la la. Laughing to the bank, laughing to the bank. La 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 la, la 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 la, yeah bitch. La la, laughing to the bank. Stop staring, be quiet. Look at me, there I go, choking on my silence. And I don't think you want me cause I wanna keep it private. And I don't think you know me if you're not one of my 5 friends. But it's my own fault, I can't give in. I have to go, suck up on the top. Interest in my grab though, too many kind foes. The reason I struggle because I'm fucking shy. I never wanna show my face sometimes. And I got trouble looking people in the eye. Cause when I do words, forget off.
Hey guys, I'm here with Zostal from Blue Otter. Great to see you, man. Great to see the whole team out for the tournament. How are you guys feeling?
We're feeling good. You know, we had a little bit of a different roster coming in, but we're feeling pretty good and we're excited to play.
Yeah, it's been good to see you guys sort of develop over these last 2 years, honestly, at this point. You know, this is still kind of a new, squad coming into its own, but I think you guys have really started to establish your identity already, an idea of, like, what each player is really capable of. Do you guys think that you are starting to, like, see where your skill ceiling could be, like, what the best version of Blue Otter is, or do you think we have yet to see that?
I don't think we've seen it yet, and I think it's kind of unknown. I think we're definitely starting to hit our groove in a lot of these tournaments. But I don't think that our ceiling has like been yet, and I don't think we know it yet. I think we're yet to reach, but we definitely hit our groove.
Is there anything that you guys are going to really focus on this tournament when it comes to either improving or even just results-wise? Obviously, I know you guys are going to go for that W.
I mean, yeah, we're going for the win, obviously, because we played the last LAN in Vegas, and we got second place to Burger Boys, a pretty crushing defeat. So, you know, we might play them again here, and we're looking to get the win here. Not a ton of improvement, especially since we have a sub coming in.
Absolutely, yeah, that definitely does change things for sure. And it's going to be a bit of an arduous tournament. I know everybody has obviously already encountered sorts of struggles, and you're no stranger to the lane environment. There are a lot of things that you're able to sort of weaponize, use to your advantage, some things that sort of maybe drag you down. What would you say personally for you are the big, pros and cons of getting to play in person?
I mean, I'd say one of the biggest pros and cons is kind of a double-edged sword that it's just very difficult to hear. So a lot of the times your enemy's running around and you cannot hear them, but you can also use that advantage to run around, take timings and things like that, and the other team just can't hear you. So yeah, double-edged sword, definitely be looking to use that.
Do you guys think that your team is going to be capable of, the awareness of the outside environment with the same level of awareness that you guys have in game? Because y'all's macro is one of the best at this tournament for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely hit our in the macro, and I think like awareness wise we should be fine. We have pretty good comms, things like that, and from my experience in the last LAN, like the noise and things like that is definitely an issue, but once you lock into the game and you get into the flow state of the game, it kind of drowns out the outside noise, so you kind of get into that groove, and the comm and awareness seem to be fine.
That's great. Well, we're excited to see you develop that rhythm here, man. Best of luck to Blue Otter, and we'll see you out there.
Cool. Thank you so much.
0 in once again, live from Philadelphia, PA, live from local host. My name is Upman, joined here with Tenric once again, and this is a fire BO3 to say the very least. We have 2 high-caliber teams facing off here on LAN. That's all I really need to say. High-quality Valorant, ladies and gentlemen.
It really,
teams.
It really has been. Two of the best teams that have come out of North America this year have been really showing it all.
Out of the scene, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, out of the entire region for sure, and they're here to play, and they really are here to play. They have really been showing out. Great strats, great, just great efficiency from both sides overall. They're both locked in. NBG was able to take overtime though. They really sped it up at the end there, and they're looking to take that momentum to Blue Otter's pick of Haven.
Yeah, Haven is going to be a bit of a fun look because in that last map of Icebox, we were just saying like, oh, the Blue Otter, they just didn't seem that aggressive. They just, they're methodical, they're calculated, they're taking their time. It didn't exactly bite them at all. That first half was, it was 8-4.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say. It was their half. And then that second half, NBG, they come out with a little bit more of that aggressive look and still picking and prodding away. They did their jobs. Haven, however, we might need to see a bit more of that exhilarated Blue Otter.
Yeah, with NBG choosing to start out on the attack, I was thinking the exact same thing. They're not going to let their foot off of the gas at all. And in response, Blue Otter, they need to make that decision even faster. Are they going to interrupt, or are they going to play for that retake? And on Haven, there are a lot more opportunities to interrupt, to go for those lurk checks, to double back, to try to read the rotations. You have to see Blue Otter take advantage of that more if they want to be able to get a one-up on NBG.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You can only imagine what the execs are going to be like here for NBG coming into this game. So again, Blue Otter, it's preparation basically on NBG. It's gonna have to come down to the VOD review a little bit for this map in terms of the execs. So it's gonna be fun. I do want to see again where those adjustments do come in for Blue Otter once they do start to get once they do start to see that different look, I guess you could say, from NBG, because again, they're not coming in with a little bit more of that strategic all the way look immediately in these rounds. They are showing some really aggressive looks. And Blue Otter, they didn't exactly, they didn't capitulate, basically. They didn't start pushing off of it. They didn't start answering, period. They didn't really make any adaptations. They really stuck to their own game. It's just that Haven, with it being as widespread of a map as it is, as individualistic of a map as it could be, there are just some players that could just succeed in other positions. You could feel that dynamic more on this map than it would be on Icebox. So just, rotating positions in and out in between rounds, that's going to be a little bit more important now that we're going to see from Blue Otter. And again, that just has to be a bit of that, like, Renz, he doesn't exactly have a lot of responsibility on him. Yes. He's just going to be fragging.
Exactly. That was the other big thing, the big puzzle piece, the cog that you can really shift around the map. Renz feels like that guy, then you can take and drag and drop really anywhere at any moment. It doesn't mean that Blue Otter necessarily have to play around him. If anything, less than that, they can play the opposite of that.
Right.
They can kind of let him do his thing and let everyone else kind of take on their own roles. It's not necessarily going to be a 4-1 split a lot of the time, but you'll see a lot less hands on Renz when it comes to getting him to be able to make some damage on top of these rounds. In turn, I want to talk about how NBG is going to approach this, starting out on the attack half a little more. We've seen the double duelist come out from them a little bit occasionally here on LAN as well. Haven is a great place to be able to do that if they really want to, especially if they think that they can get the drop on Blue Otter with how slow they've been moving. I don't know if we're going to see that conventional comp come out from NBG here, or if they're going to go for something a little more puggy.
Yeah, maybe. It might come down to maybe a little bit similar of that comp that we saw on that last map, where they might stick to somebody like a KO that just has that pop flash potential.
Yeah.
Again, this map does have to come down to the agent select a little bit, and we actually do have that agent select ready and raring to go. Blue Otter on your left. They are going to be coming in with the double duelist and not NBG. So Screwface sticking to the Viper on this map. It is Renz alongside Yoru on the high caliber Neon alongside the Yoru. This, however, was the map that we saw Blue Otter falter individually. Fair, he just got a little bit of momentum back from that last map. This has to be a complete turnaround from a player like Fair, specifically on the defensive side of this map. He got 0 kills the last time they played this defensive side. He needs to step up.
It's a notoriously disjointed composition that, again, requires a lot of individual ability, and the way Blue Otter coordinates themselves, it's really tough to say that they're going to be able to execute that game plan with the same level that NBG is able to individually, and they're not even going to have to necessarily do that, but you're going to see these players go for those occasional moments. In particular, once again, I'm looking at Note. On that Omen, when you already have Screwface on the Viper, you'll allow him to get a little more active on top of his own smokes, more than he normally was.
Aggression over towards the mid side. It's going to be Fair alongside one other. Zoe peeking out Garage is able to get the other frag, and NBG back down to 3 before even 15 seconds really passes by in the round. Blue Otter, they immediately double back into some pretty strong positions. 2 players over towards long. They have more than enough util here on the C site. And Nightblood Gaming, look at this response. Immediately coming out towards side. And this paranoia is perfect. He ends up picking out 2. So isn't able to find Son of Car, but that is more than enough for the info. That is more than enough for the spike control. Son of Car needs to do it all.
Blue Otter turn a 4-pronged attack into a fork in the road for NBG, as no proper fights are met, and the second that Blue Otter understands that Nightblood have one option left to crunch from Garage into C, they immediately fully adjust onto it and collapse even quicker. That was a perfect war on 2 fronts taken by Blue Otter to keep 4 men standing in the pistol.
Yeah, and again, that double fight going back into long, if that rotation ended up coming in, where it should have came in, that would have been an absolute war, but there would not have been enough time for that rotation to come in. It was a little bit of that double-edged sword, but at the end of the day, they still had that backup option, or at least they always had that insurance option in the form of the paranoia. Again, still some utility on site. They could have technically let some players go on, but it just does not matter. Blue Otter, again, very good in terms of the flow chart, backing out little by little into positions that they know for a fact that they control. Nightblood Gaming looking for another peek back over towards the long side. It's going to be a mosh pit heading towards Blue Otter's way.
Yeah, Blue Otter holding close to get this started. You think they want to punish in legs and then trade out who's taking the brunt of the damage, but if Nightblood are fast enough, you can't really make that work, and Nightblood are working fast here on the A side, 2 on the inside corner, and already Blue Otter's getting kited. The swinging from Renz, though, is enough, and there's that Neon coming into play. Again, letting him off the leash, just come calling as the cavalry whenever they need it, and that A side is beyond accessible.
Man, but he still absolutely has to play smart. The stuns are so important on this map. There's so many tight angles that you have to force yourself into a peak, and those stuns, it's gonna do so much work going late into the round. Ladies and gentlemen, Nightblood Gaming, they have a listening coming in.
But he was like not playing any trips on B or Garage, really. So if you guys find them, they're doing something different, okay? But he was playing double site exec trip, anti-exec trip.
Time to jump.
Starting map. Yeah. Okay. Hit our pressure.
Yours in window. Yours in window.
Window, hit.
Hit 120 on Silva.
Corner replay.
I need ball.
Take rush control and go replay, eh?
Yeah, I think you should be one smoke from B, and you guys should go clear A.
Take
I'm
flight.
gonna drink rush. Nothing, no shit.
Where was he?
Oh, nothing.
Go break
He was
for
A long.
my regroup.
I didn't hear anything towards A. I think it's probably going to be Zosto with a judge somewhere.
Quick post.
Like towards
3,
short.
2, 1.
I guess prod A and then B on Steven.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold the space.
This. Pick this. Pick this. Just pick it.
You guys pop now?
3, 2, 1.
Fake teleport. Scanning
You're
ahead.
nailing come in.
30 seconds left.
2-7.
I'm down C. Down C. I'm running.
Just see.
Where's the fight? Fight something.
Fish takes C right now.
Mid.
Bomb's down. Bomb's down.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna fight Link. You just go stay
15
flat.
seconds. You have to fight. You have to
Yeah,
fight.
I'm coming,
15.
You guys have to plant B
Yeah,
most
yeah.
likely.
Last player standing.
Do it,
10
Link.
seconds left.
The Spectre is stupid. Bro, I like this fool lagged out when I was fighting him. That was very unfortunate.
How do you keep showing C?
And that is a beyond discouraging round for Nightblood Gaming.
Absolutely.
After such a good read on the opening setups there, Nightblood Gaming still played so timid and slow to start things out, and Blue Otter were able to really spread their resources quite thin for the majority of that round. The only time Nightblood had time to put their foot on the gas, there was 10 seconds to go.
Just unbelievable, and Blue Otter just allowed that space to really happen back over towards that B site. They had the trap. They had 2 players over towards A, which the 2 most aggressive agents that they have, period. They are going to be able to burst into that B site so quickly and so aggressively. Nightblood Gaming can't really do much, but this is basically what they can do. They can wait out for a couple of pixels potentially and try to pick away. Good stuff. Screwface. He's got it. A site is his. Is he going to be able to cut off the back of sight? 25 bullets in the Vandal. Or yeah, in the Vandal, he's just going to need all of it. There goes the Molly, trying to cover up Renz. But Renz speeds in, able to get 26 HP remaining on his body, but still, 1 shot would do it. There it is, Son of Car. 2 more players remaining here for Blue Otter. The rotation is already there for Fair.
Last
Fair,
player standing.
almost getting some extra mileage, but it just does not happen. That was cheeky. I mean, out of all the rounds for Nightblood to be able to take, yes, it's a thrifty, yes, it's a fun one, but replicable? Don't exactly think so.
Certainly not. No, that comes off of Note getting an early kill with the Sheriff through a smoke to start things out on the lane. Nightblood noticed there's blood in the water. They can start pressuring A-side a little heavier, force someone to make a huge macro call that might go awry. And then comes Screwface after that with the secondary kill on the close range. A great extension from him. Again, that's the kind of tempo that you're looking for from Nightblood Gaming. They need to be more confident in going just balls to the wall with that opening decision rather than leafing through the first 3 or 4 that Blue Otter is so clearly tuned to.
Cover going out.
It's going to be a more traditional look here, but this wall is so good here from the attackers, covering up, red carpeting them back over towards long. Man and Long not able to get anything. This is such a tough position here for Fairy. He's going to have to TP out very soon. There is one player looking for that peek. And Screwface, he's the one now playing with his own Viper Wall. Being pretty cheeky with it at the same time. Nightblood, they had all 5 heading towards A at some point, but Blue Otter did not catch any of that presence. They're still making the gut call to go back into B, and this Blue Otter side does have the presence that they need here at this point. Renz alongside one more. Try to cover this up. There goes a TP with nobody in the middle of sight. Noted even backs out. The Hunter's Fury got baited. The only ultimate here for Blue Otter. And oh my goodness, what an ultimate to grab.
That's absolutely insane by Noted. Amazing usage of those 2 TPs to maximize.
Look at the presence here on A.
They're going to step on. Nightblood again. Have to turn on the gas, and Blue Otter, the way that they blossom, they're able to condense themselves onto a site so quickly. Everyone was managing just one line at a time. But Kumi has made his way somehow through the garage. It was left undetected. Zeke, the shutdown, integral. And now Blue Otter can again manage one at a time. The site's taken, but the round may not be.
I mean, 3v5. Nightblood Gaming, they spread themselves out a little bit, and they allow Screwface to really stretch his legs. God knows what can happen here. Zoe stepping into garage. Screwface, he might just have the angle. Zoe keeping his head on a swivel, so picking out over towards mid. There's going to be so many players here in garage. Oh my goodness, Screwface. He's going to be able to pick away at one, but oh my goodness, Zoe. He had the angle. Nightblood Gaming is just down to 1. He's down to 21 HP. It's impossible. Noted is gone. Screwface, however, he had the winning combination there, as he did with the one round that Nightblood ended up taking.
You see the blueprint that Nightblood has to go for. They have to grind away at this one at a time defense that Blue Otter go for. Every door is managed. The only time that a stack is really being babysat is when somebody decides to push up a lane and just double check to make sure nobody's rotating too quickly. That's the only time you're really seeing anybody go for those trades. Blue Otter is being entirely self-reliant until the call is made towards a push, and then they condense, then they compress, then they destroy. That is the nature of Blue Otter, the structure of how they operate as one singular unit, and they're utilizing it really well to start out this game.
Can't complain by any means. The responses here from Blue Otter in terms of the rotations have been perfect. They have just been perfect so far. Blue Otter having the right presence on these sites. It's just the right reads so far from here we go. Killing Sunapar, making it to the back of sight, but this one is just there. NBG, shredded away immediately. And this Yoru is good. Just trying to make a play. He's able to get one kill out of it. 51 HP remaining. Ren still finds him. 4 players alive. Economy still rolling. This is Blue Otter at their finest. If they find this next round, Plus, is just going to have to keep on rolling. That's extra credit pure for them going into the second half.
I mean, that was a read down the bridge of the nose for Blue Otter there. That's completely restricted Nightblood. The second they hear that dimensional drift in their vicinity, they're like, let's just start shooting. They have to push on top of that. They don't have a Hunter's Fury. What else are they going to do? Now Smiley does, though, on top of these pistols, and they're going to be able to make some headway. Again, just trying to find those singular openings against Blue Otter when they let themselves go free. You saw Kumi snake his way all the way up Garage a couple rounds ago. There's always an opening. There's always a gap. You just got to wait it out.
Kumi's just going to be disappointing. He has 0 kills at the moment, and that would be his opportunity to get the ones if he did get the positioning that his team needed. There goes Screwface, however. Losing out on a 1-to-1 with Zeke. Zeke on the rifle. This could be a massive 1-2.
Yeah, it's already gone. And you're already held up so close to the choke. Nightblood already feels so restricted. They can't move on to the A site. They know that people can already move too forward.
Oh my goodness.
Nightblood have such a good read into Blue Otter's confidence, but it really just doesn't matter, especially when there's a gun diff. Fair. Now 2 op shots deep. Let's give him another. Noted. Able to win that trade-off, but again, that signals the rest of the team to their presence, and still with the gun diff waning, persisting, Blue Otter, they can stick to the plan.
Oh, sharp from Renz.
Rough.
Sharp from Smiley.
Good CP fake as well. It's a little bit doubled up. They might read that there's sewer presence instead of the double on lane.
One enemy remaining.
It don't matter. Nice.
LAN, by the way.
Yep. Go Smiley.
No more. Okay, all right. He got the aura back.
Yep, no.
So now you buy back up.
0
you have a Hunter's Fury to facilitate, so you can clear any board you want. You can open up a site. You can go as fast as you need to, but, I mean, C lane they just spray. A lane they hold early. B door they wait it out. What do you do?
What do you do? What do you do? You need some cheeky plays like we ended up seeing earlier from Screwface. Not exactly going to be the most light thing to do, but we did end up seeing some right, quote-unquote, approaches from Nightblood Gaming when it came to that A site. This early Viper wall did give them that red carpet multiple times back down into short. It's just like they never actually exec'd into short off of this wall.
Yeah, it's been purely for conditioning up until this point, and for a reason. They're still trying to offensive op. Carr with the opening shot. Again, Bullhorn, Nightblood. Look how they've already flowered back out. They're going to try and spring this Venus flytrap when they find somebody. But there's two in the sewer.
And Fair is going to get his opportunity. Ooh, he's up. What is Smiley looking for? Is it going to be a one-on-one between Fair and Smiley? Fair does get picked up by Smiley. That's massive. Fair just had everything. It all opened up for him. Zeke is trying to do basically the same.
Die.
He is going to be able to get one. Hold on, look at the amount of pixels! My goodness! 2 bursts, and Zeke is able to get 2 frags off of it immediately. Nightblood Gaming had all 5 going into this site. Not a single person from Blue Otter in the middle of A site got a kill there, but it's still 2 players remaining here for Nightblood Gaming. Extending deep into site is Blue Otter. Extending deep is the Yoru. And my goodness gracious, just disheartening.
The quickness from those duelists is scary, but the ability to double up on those angles the second you're done clearing them, that's even more terrifying, because Blue Water can approach that with any tempo they want, right? They can decide to stick a lurk flank in like a minute into that retake phase, and from then on, Nightblood, again, they have to continuously double check. They have to continuously do their homework. It almost feels like Blue Water are trying to play, shift this Viper wall to their advantage more often than not, because Nightblood has been playing so passively around it these past couple rounds instead of trying to take advantage. And if Carr's not hitting those opening op shots, then what does Nightblood do to springboard off of it?
It's gonna be yet another cheeky play, dude. Are you kidding me? They're gonna try it. Idiots. And Screwface not gonna be able to do much, and this is just a dry run into the middle of the site here. Not much that they can do off the pistols. Rents is gonna be able to take down 1. There's still 2 more for him to go. Man and Link. That
1
could be
enemy remaining.
Son of Carr, but that's just flawless. My goodness.
Clean as a whistle. And again, you see Renz flying free. There are going to be so many rounds that Neon can be used as a Swiss Army knife to just cut like a hot knife through butter into a site at, again, any given moment. Normally with that Yoru is the duelist that Carr has to play. The rhythm is very one note. It's powerful because it's Yoru, but with that TP, you have that one prong in. When you have Renz, you can really coordinate a crunch or pinch with any other player any other time during the round. You have to be continuously prepared for a double swing at any given moment. This ubiquity that we were looking for on Haven before that was usually controlled by the Senti meta that we saw on it previously, like with Cypher and KJ. Teams are starting to pull it off with duelists now that everyone is so mechanically gifted.
And there's just seriously a recon dip at this point. You're just not getting enough information at all here if you're the attackers. It's not like you don't have players on this team who play Fade. It's not like you don't have players on this team who do play out agents that would simply be able to just get the corner by corner information that they need. But my goodness gracious, it's frustrating. You can tell from here just the steam coming off the foreheads of these players from NBG trying to figure their way out here on this attack side. And again and again, they have been mashing their heads against the wall over towards A. Finally, yes, they're making that short exec, happen. These last 3 rounds were, finally, them taking advantage of the conditioning that they set. Doesn't matter.
First time in a couple rounds that they're going to be sending Fair down C lane mega early here, but this is the fastest Nightblood has approached Garage. And they're backing out. They just want to sell a plant here? Just stick noted? Ooh, that's sloppy.
I hate to see that there from Noted. It's going to be a big one. Put down. Bakumi. Oh my goodness, fireball.
See, Blue Water is doing that. They're going to be ready for that double up.
It's just going to have to be the re-exec here from Nightblood just to try their absolute best, and they do have the util that they absolutely needed. There's going to be a 100 Sphere potentially for that first flip, but now that Fury is gone. 4 on 2, 2 more players trying to make it, but they have no idea about runs. They're not double clearing. And oh my goodness, this one is going to the wayside. NBG still standing on Screwface at the moment with 30 HP. As he may. Oh my goodness, wait a minute! 35 seconds left. 1v4 turned down to a 1v1. Screwface at 30 HP for 3 of those frags. He has a Viper's Pit to work with. And the 1v1 is his! Screwface survives!
No adjustment. No shift. Just Screwface. Looking it down.
It's Screwface world.
Baring his teeth.
You are living in it.
And then rotating over to that 1v1 after the clone attempts to sell. And this is on top of a flip. That is the kind of readiness to fight that Nightblood has needed against this defense. Hey, it doesn't mean that Blue Water the ability to just crash out back on the site. Hey, don't, come on. Control yourself, man.
It's just like, hey, another day. I hate to see it.
And that is enough for Blue Water to call a timeout. The individual expertise that you can trade into a round win here.
Yeah.
Blue Water is anything but collapsed after a round like that, but you got to discuss.
For sure, Ski.
Slow him down. Don't get him excited.
Crowd's excited.
Yeah, crowd's hype. How y'all feeling?
Hi, crowd.
Hi, crowd.
They were waving at us. They're not waving at us anymore.
Dang.
I don't think they're here for us.
No.
No.
You're here for the players.
They're here for Screwface or something. Or whatever. Any Kylers in the chat?
Is that what he calls them?
They do now.
Kylers?
They do now.
We'll try to make that catch on for him.
So if you made Kyler out there, it's like, huh?
Every Kyler was just like, what are you doing, man?
No, they like, there's just a pinch in their
This is
heart.
identity
Just like,
erasure.
I have been summoned.
Here.
Blue Otter's been so ubiquitous, especially on this A site, but Nightblood just can't resist attacking it again, especially with 4 ults on the table. They just pose such a threat.
Here.
And it's just so weird at the moment, though. Look at this A site. This A site has been consistently picked and prodded at by this Blue Water side, and they have just left this completely, basically unmonitored. You know, they do have Rens on site, but not a single tick of presence. It's gonna have to come down to the crossfires, which, I mean, good lord, I don't even think NBG is gonna need. Oh, hello, Mr. Hunter. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Ren's around the corner, has to go crazy. Paranoia doesn't catch him by any means. There goes a beautiful stun. Now his teammate might be able to catch something else, but it's not going to happen just yet. There goes the exec fireball ops. Has to do it all. Has a couple more frags to get. This has been made possible here by Nightblood Gaming. There's still one more remaining here for this team. Screwface is not going to be able to pull off the miracle this time. Zeke has been so strong with his multi-frags this half.
A little over-choreographed where the story was already written, and the fact is so much clearing was done in the pre-plant. You had 2 players from Blue Otter essentially making sure that the entire left half of the map was completely unoccupied. You could commit even harder to the rotation than you already are, which Blue Water has the ability to do with the crazy speed they have.
And they barely committed to it, period.
Because Renz was already there. He didn't have to move anywhere. The whole team was already basically there.
Oh, it's Renz, GG.
I mean, he is really starting to pop off. Kumi is on the board, though, post this round.
Shout out.
So that is some momentum that Nightblood are looking to gain here. And honestly, a 9-3 half with the KJ Sova, you can convert this.
Fair. Looking to convert a little bit more. He has so many targets right in front of him, but he has the TP so far away. My goodness, there's nobody here on C. Nightblood Gaming, they can shift in if they want, but considering the presence from Blue Water, whenever they have this sort of aggression, usually that response comes in very, very strong. So, a chance.
Who's next?
This is long-term read from Fair. He's over at the A side on the TP 30 seconds before Nightblood decided to push it. But the dimensional drift from the Ditto Yoru is inbound and into that corner, blocking out Fair with the smoke. Fireball up swings right back out on top of it. And now we just deal with the front line again. NBG flashes their way in, and Smiley can crawl onto the site. Front half is opened up, but we still have so much map to deal with, and Kumi is no longer there to trespass on it. Flank check is ready, and Screwface with the opening kill to cross that link, but now Nightblood have to hold it down in that 3v2 as Fair is once again already here to play. And they've gotten spotted out from Note on top of the block. Now Screwface having to overextend the corner. He gets that one, but so still trading out Smiley. And now the fake TP on the front catches Screwface slower. Health pool, but Screwface peeks back out. and finalizes. 3 kills down, 3 rounds for Nightblood at the end of the day as we switch halves.
Just a mental war, too. You got the Omen CP going, quote-unquote, into the middle of sight, but it just doesn't. He fakes it out, and Screwface has to reposition himself away from being all the way out in the open. However, that position, technically, that he was in, was perfect for a main. If that TP comes into sight, he can still play around it, but at the end of the day, he still repositioned himself safely back into the middle of sight, did his little dance, and yet another round going under his belt. It's all Screwface. It is literally all Screwface. Every round that this team won in this half, it's on his back.
He is the man behind the slaughter, the man behind it all. And as we swap to Nightblood Gaming, taking this defensive core, hoping to use this toxic screen to a much bigger advantage than they were able to manifest in the previous half. But Blue Water, they know how much they can infect. They know how quickly they're able to cause pressure, and so they will.
Oh, there goes Smiley, not able to pick down on Fair. There goes Fireball Ops. Still able to get that right. This one's just awkward, though. How does Son of Card get into this angle? Nobody spotting him out over towards Jordan. This is awkward, too. Ren somehow surviving off of this one and collecting so much HP off his opponent, but his teammate is all the way alone. How is Ren still getting the frag? Oh, my goodness, Ren! 3 from Ren.
Okay.
And how do these kills come out in B? And how is the spike planted in A? What am I watching? Sunakar, 1-on-2. Good luck, my friend. Renz is down extremely low. Zoe does have the angle. Paranoia going in. It's going to hit right on him. 4 HP for Renz. 1 bullet to the body does it. Son of Car just waiting for a defuse opportunity. Zoe just making his job just that little bit more difficult. Has to rush him. Got him, but no time.
That's really great timing, weaponization to force Son of Car to press the narrative and save face, but Blue Water deserved that round hands down. Completely confuzzling.
Renz deserved that round.
That defense. I mean, look, Renz did what Renz needed to do, ran around. He took Courtyard, he took B, and then he went and took A while he was at it. Screw it, why not? He can do it. Just immaculate control of the space, immaculate usage of this double duelist composition that is normally so volatile, normally so feudal. This is a really impressive performance by both the Yoru and the Neon to help each other out. A very supportive performance from Blue Water.
And now they spread themselves out, defaulting in the second round, just giving off no good look here for Nightblood. Screwface peeking out in the mid side. No presence being found here by Nightblood, if anything. I'd like to see if any of these buddy systems ends up formulating into a bit of a push, as we do see Screwface getting a little bit more aggressive. Note is right behind him. That wall actually does help him out to try to get back. This is, again, this is cool from Blue Water for now. The fact that they're staying so disciplined at the moment, just trying to wait for any pixels. And there's Renz keeping an eye on Garage. Just good monitoring at the moment from Blue Water. They have no reason to panic whatsoever. For this B site, they have reason to use all of this util to try to bait some sort of piece of presence. And that's exactly what happens. Are you kidding me? The pick and prod from Blue Water. This game of tug of war is insane. Again, on an anti-eco, pulling out that much presence over towards B and not showing a single pixel. Good job. But still, Blue Water in a bit of a battle against one. Well, the one doesn't survive, and that's the round. Again, just systematic.
History has already forgotten you.
Quick and easy coming from Blue Water. Really well done to, again, just completely stabilize to try to finish off this map. But now comes the bonus. Now comes the moment where they really want to make sure the snowball is fully rolled. Let's listen into what they have to say coming into this bonus.
What'd you say, Adam?
Yeah, sure. I said I blinded too first, early.
Can you just not? Like, I think you just start somewhere. Unless you want to outlight. If you want to outlight, you can come in. But, like, otherwise, I think you just fuck off.
I was just gonna blind.
All half armor. They're all half armor.
Put in long smoke.
They're going short.
You might just protect you, bro. If it's gonna push you or some shit.
Watch out, mid play fast.
Rick dart.
Gadget turret.
Oh, what is it? Can break.
Gadget turret. It's on plat.
One front B. Front B.
Broke turret.
Might be walking out mid.
Turn down short. Turn down short. Turn down short.
Okay. They saw 2A.
Nice. 3 more.
You're going plat now. Can you guys take C right now? Can you guys walk up C? Just walk up. He can't be copy, right? He just spotted me. Omen, jump spot in here.
Oh,
That's spam.
Are we
Reloading. We're smoked off C.
Can I have Neon York come in and so we go C? They just droned A. This is perfect. This is perfect. Do this kind of fast without them hearing us.
You guys can run if you want, okay? You
Give
guys
them
can run.
bomb. Give them bomb. Give them bomb. Give them bomb. Shortest gap, guys, on this. Come back. Care short. Go short.
What gun did you have?
Walk.
Alright, grenade dart. Okay, I'm gonna smoke garage. Let's go to walk up there. Smoke garage now.
Yeah.
Walk up.
Revealing area.
One backside.
I'm gonna start running.
Kevin blinded.
3,
I'm ready
2, 1.
There's one at least,
I'm
one at
site.
least.
Let's go. So, yeah, I'm smoking Kevin.
Shadows traveling.
A full set shorts.
Clearing it? Yeah, I'm planning for short. Good walk is one right now.
I'm full play. Good walk is
Trying to
one.
focus one. Yes, break that door, break that door. No, I'm stunning. I'm stunning and sliding.
Okay.
Two, more.
Graffiti. Nice.
Fighting spawn.
Alright, fuck it.
Right side spawn. Holding him.
Rest, you wanna run it down, bro?
Oh, I'm so ugly.
One
71
enemy
and
remaining.
39 and killjoy.
Alright.
Cover going out.
Hit 39.
Nice.
Oh, good shit. Let's go.
Alright!
Match point.
Renz, this is a personal message. You are tall and you are handsome.
He's so handsome.
Why are you telling yourself that? Why are you telling yourself lies? I thought you were a
Beautiful,
realistic
man.
guy, dude. Why are you down to earth? Hey, that was a great bait. That was a fantastic bait. Once again, because of the absolute commitment that these guys have to that bit. 2 players over towards that long C area, big fight outside of garage. That alone was enough. And also, of course, the players stayed around in C for way too long. Nightblood Gaming also sticking around for way too long. They just didn't have the recon to be able to re-clear it. Beautiful work in that last round, but Blue Otter now, they find themselves up against the ropes a little bit. They do have the guns, so does their opponent. There goes Fair, gonna be able to pick away at 1. Look at the rotation. They bit down on this so hard. 4 players rotating over for Nightblood Gaming, but they do have the TP back. You're able to stick to the back of C as this rotation comes in so fast from Blue Otter. This was not the same thing that we saw in the last round. It was still a little bit slower from Blue Otter purely because they already had the presence over on A. They just don't now. They walk their way up, and it's only 1 player that goes down. Yet another bait. But this is now Nightblood Gaming learning a little bit.
A good awareness from Nightblood, aware that you couldn't possibly retract it that quickly. You have to commit to this A site still, and Blue Otter will, with a bit of a lesser health pool, but standing outside that smoke, Fair can land those shots and force them to the back. Kumi for 1. Now it's Renz to take that responsibility. So from the smoke, TP's away with the spike in hand and resets that fight with both players on a crumb of health. Zostal with a chance to seal this now.
Where's the reposition here from Zo? He's thinking about garage. Son of Car was thinking about it too. But this is, for now, the right move. Zo, it's not gonna have much to work with here. That one way on top of that spike.
Car has nothing.
It's gonna be absolutely huge, and there you go. Smoke on top of it. Car's not gonna face any pressure. Zo is just tucking his tail. Son of Car going in for the defuse, but he's just waiting for a body. It's just not gonna happen. Zo, all he had to do was wait. So 20 HP, still waiting for the spike to take, and the spike was already gone. Blue Otter, you could not be more confident coming out of that half if you were Blue Otter. What a half, what a domination on Haven.
So many answers to so many questions that Nightblood dared to ask, and more than anything, Nightblood started the game off trying to find some easy pickoffs, trying to see if any one of these volatile duelists or the players that were trying to activate them would show a nose or a foot or an elbow or a shoulder. But at the end of the day, Blue Otter just turned that right around when they started attacking, and Nightblood were the ones to start walking out trepidatiously, try to artificially check that space, because Blue Otter was so much better at clearing it in the beginning of that game. A real big mental shift that Blue Otter was able to take advantage of going into those late rounds where, again, they're able to get onto site so quickly, and the reads have been immaculate.
Yeah, and you do mention the mental game a little bit. NBG, you could feel that mental start to come into play a little bit in that first half. In the second half, I do want to say, of course, because you're just on that defensive side, yes, some of the passionate calls might be able to take away some of that motivation, but that's not on them. At the end of the day, there was a lot of individual mistakes. There was just a lot of individual opportunities and just lack of taking advantage for these players that, again, they're going to be kicking themselves for. They should be kicking themselves for. Those are plays that they should have been making. Simple as that. But again, not to say that those plays individually would have led up to the wins. Can't say that. But it's just, you could see just on the faces, and you could see in the plays that these players just were not playing up to their quality. Now, however, of course, on the other side, Blue Otter showed probably their best colors.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, this is the most fluid that Blue Otter looks. There's a reason they chose this map clearly. I mean, Renz is having the time of his life here. You can tell how comfortable he feels on the Neon for this map, and the way he was able to just generate space so quickly and become basically a human shield for anybody who wanted it, a frontliner for whoever wanted it, and a raid boss for the sake of the game. He was there. He was always there, always available. And then right behind him was Fair with those consistent shots, able to manage the closer, more technical angles on top of Renz, just running around. Again, one of the best managements of that double duelist comp here on Haven I have ever seen, and it happened here at the Funhaver LAN.
Right, and I was begging for just a step up here from Fair because everyone else sure to step up. Fireball Ups is one of the best players in the tournament, and he's on the bottom. You got yourself Fair sticking up at 14 and 10.
So is
Renz
four
only
deaths.
got one first kill throughout that entire time and still sticking around at the top frag level. Again, everyone else still fragging at basically the exact same quality. 4 kills in the hands of Kumi, 7 in the hands of Smiley alongside Note. It's just no highlights whatsoever for this team outside of Screwface. It just was not. At some point, they just decided that this map just wasn't going to be theirs individually. Somebody had to step up in the comms, and it just could not happen.
Yeah, it just felt a little cold overall. You normally expect NBG to be a much more explosive team, a team that is much more willing to go for those risky plays and play off of those risky players. But at the end of the day, they played too slow, they played a little too safe, and they got massively punished for it.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, a map number 3 is going to be coming up here on stream. I don't have we've seen a couple map 3s, you know, on the in the map stream or the observer stream. But folks, we're going to go the distance. The very last BO3 of the day for us here on stream, and we got a little bit more free Valorant for you guys. Stay tuned with us here at Zero Win because folks, things are heating up. Thank you for tuning in so far. See you guys soon.
Come close my eyes, whoa. I know I'm more fool than wise. She said to me, oh death, it's way too wet on your cheeks to be nothing. But what does she know? Really, what does she know? Oh, I never wanted anything as little as I want this now. Oh, I take my pistol, gonna make you proud. Oh, keep your pity to yourself. Oh, mama, make you wish you did.
everybody. I'm here with Kumi from Nightblood Gaming at the Zero In Invitational. How are you feeling coming into this tournament, man?
Good. I'm gonna play with some passion.
Good stuff. Yeah. You guys have been doing really well lately, you know, both inside and outside of these tournaments. It's been really exciting to see you guys start to mesh well. And you know, everybody on the team has had some pretty big shoes to fill with, you know, Nightblood's previous performances. What do you think makes you guys stick out among other, you know, previous iterations of Nightblood?
I mean, if you just look at the team on paper, I mean, I feel like the firepower's there.
For sure. You
got Screwface, fearless leader.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, charismatic. I mean, I feel like it speaks for itself, you know?
Yeah. But just Screwface. That's perfect. Well, I do want to ask more about that firepower, because that is something that really tends to stick out when people look at your team, talk about them. You know, coming into the season, you were one of the highest performers in North America in basically every tournament you were in, and you're here on the Sentinel role for Nightblood Gaming. How has that adjustment kind of treated you? Obviously, you know, not too heavy of one, but still something.
I mean, I've dabbled in Senti like my entire time playing the game. It's kind of like the role I always fall back to. So like I came into the game, everyone just like wanted me to be a duelist because I'd played it before.
Yeah.
But Senti's has been always the role that I'd actually wanted to play.
Yeah.
So now that I'm playing, I feel like fully comfortable and just fully confident.
That's good. Do you feel maybe more like reliable? Do you not feel as much pressure on you? What do you think makes you, you know, more comfortable in that role?
I think it just fits my personality, honestly. Like I'm not like a super aggressive like type of person.
Gotcha.
I like to like, I don't know, like sit back more.
Gotcha. Do you think that makes it easier for you to, you know, be communicated with? Do you think that makes you a very good teammate?
It's like more clear head whenever I'm just like sitting there. I can like look at the map, assess what's going on instead of like kind of just like the spearhead going in. It's like a lot harder to like think, you know?
For sure. Oh man, that's got to be great for an IGL to hear. That's got to be really good. Well, you know, speaking about the tip of the spear, you know, that duelist role being given to Son of Kar, and really the responsibility that all of the players have on Nightblood. How do you help kind of, you know, get these players to be able to lean on your shoulders every once in a while? How do you bear that responsibility?
I mean, I probably just play to their strengths. Like whenever they need from me to make them play better, I usually always ask like if something happens to Note like on Icebox, he gets isolated in a fight. I always ask him like, is there anything I can do to like help you out there like for the next round, something like that, you know?
That's great.
Just make these little adjustments on the site.
That's awesome. Yeah, always checking in. That's really awesome to see. Well, you know, coming into this tournament, what is Nightblood's intention? Are you guys going for the win?
Oh yeah, we're coming for the win.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we can't wait to see it. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right. That's all. Thank y'all so much.
Zero in. Philadelphia. Fun Haver. What's poppin'? Welcome back. $10,000 on the line. It's myself, Upmine, joined here by Tenric. We have a hot best of 3 in front of us. NBG. They started things off hot. They ended up getting themselves the first map. The second map could not have been more dominating for the other team, Blue Otter. And now we're heading into a map number 3. Let's zoom out real quick and let's see what we got ourselves going on here in the building.
Yeah, again, a lot of matches being played today, but this one has really stuck out on the stage after Blue Otter, like you said, had that really dominant performance on Haven, just absolutely popping off and showing that that they really understand that map and how to play to their strengths on it, despite the fact that they got Renz subbing in on it. We're going to Lotus to finish things off after Corrode and Bind were those late stage bans. We discussed previously how both of these teams will feel really in their element, particularly on this map. I think we'll get to see the true aggression that we got to see on NBG from Icebox, along with the huge reads and baiting that Blue Water got away with on Haven. I think we'll see that all mesh on Lotus.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit of that fun time once again for those lurkers, for those fraggers that we ended up seeing back over on Icebox and back over on Haven. Lotus, again, it shouldn't be too much of that absolute strategic battle. It's going to be very similar to Haven, where, again, on that defensive side, it is going to have to come down to the individuals. It's going to have to come down to the communication of the positioning of the other team. But overall, again, these two teams, they've already showed basically all of their colors, positive or negative. So this one's bound to be a barn burner. Folks, like I said, we're going to zoom out real quick. Let's check in on what's happening here at Fun Haver, here at Zero In. We do have 2 teams on to the next round, and my goodness, call it an upset on one of these games. Call it a bit of a heartbreaker in the other one. But my goodness, Dynamo threw over Burger Boys, and Sad Esports over the 3-0 Pigeons.
That is the one that stands out, funnily enough, after Pigeons made such an insane run up until this point. The fact that SAD were able to go the distance in the rematch and win it out, I'll have to watch that one back for sure. But they're making it through to the semifinals. We're going to see them tomorrow. We will not see Burger Boys play on that main stage tomorrow.
Wow.
Dynamo, a 2-0. That is pretty unprecedented. Meanwhile, Rice and Cracker facing off against Legacy Kingdom at the moment. They're a map deep. And then, of course, you got it right here. Whoever wins this matchup will face off against Dynamo tomorrow in the semifinals right here on the main stage in Philly.
Yeah, and again, from what we saw from Dynamo earlier, they are a really solid team, but it just does seem as if there has to be that moment-to-moment shift for this team. They have to be consistently locked if they do want to compete with the top players at the tournament, which they have proven to be. It's not exactly their level, right? But they are playing up to it. Dynamo tomorrow, they're going to have quite the task against either one of these teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for sure, with everybody well rested as well. No doubt the crowd going to be here. Of course, you still have players out here supporting the teams that are playing at the moment, and no doubt going to be an exciting last map here to determine who is moving on to those semifinals. But once again, it really does come down to this. Do we see the best of both worlds, or is one team just more tuned in? We knew that we were going to see a shift from Blue Water. We knew it was going to be on Rens, and we knew that it could be Clove. That's what we're going with. It's another double controller Lotus that we're going to be hopping into. NBG far more conventional.
Yeah, and we are seeing the Fade coming out on this map, of course, but again, Ren's going to be unlocked a little bit coming out on the Clove. It is pretty overwhelming here if you just look at the approach from the Blue Water side. That Neon coming in has to just fire up the pace when it comes to the attack. And on defense, again, it's that same effect that I was talking about with the closer angles. Lotus, it's a little bit of a different deal, of course, with the fact that it is a little bit frowned upon for you to be making those deep pushes. The Neon is basically going to have to evade, it evades that opportunity, basically. They can go far with the stuns, and basically all of these choke points are lanes. Those stuns are still going to be able to do a big business in these still wider choke points, but ones that the stun can still do a big business and his teammates can peek off of. Here we go, folks. Map number 3 between Blue Water and Nightblood Gaming is going to start off with an interaction over towards A, which the defense only has one person there.
Again, the perfect stage for Nightblood to display how their aggression can be weaponized, but Fair doing the exact same thing from the mound, already running up, and Kumi's discovered it far too late. A tough way to start that game 3 after such a rough game 2, but the rest of Nightblood has to stipulate, and now A's the only place they can really go.
Screwface is caught in a blender here real quick without that smoke. Trapped. Beautiful piece of utility, though. Still trying to clear out Zoe. Does not happen for now. She plays up towards heaven. This is all Zeke. Zeke covering the cross. Headshots on the cross. Beautiful from Zoe. Now one more remaining. And it's just systematic. 1-0.
That is a perfect dance from Zeke on the outskirts of Tree to just stall long enough for the rest of the team to run through. And NBG, simply too much multitasking to be done before the spike could go down. Too many close angles to watch, and Blue Water weaponizing that to perfection. Another momentous start to this game. And like you said, that Fade already coming in clutch, able to continue to hold close with that intel pressure and then double down with the fighting when everyone else comes.
And now, of course, in this type of round, NBG, they can just throw caution into the wind. Let's see what they can try to pull off with this aggressive look, because again, on the raise, we haven't been able to see Sunstar show off too much potential of his, just in terms of the movement, just in terms of getting into good positions early. His main game has been sticking himself to one general position and just finding a pixel whenever they come into it. But it's just not happening right now. Nobody's peeking into him. Nobody is ever going to peek into him at this point. This is still going to be pretty strong here. Here we go, folks. TP into the back of side. These defenders still trying to back up, trying to double back, try to get into better positions. Zeke's still holding up the connector, and he's still alive at 10 HP. Fireball Ops even chiming in, doing the exact same. Again, Nightblood Gaming, the best thing that they can do here is take away some of the economy. Screwface, try as he may. He is actually going to be able to get 2. There's potentially a gun here for him, and if there's anyone that you want in this position here for Nightblood Gaming, it's going to have to be Mr. Screwface. But with the Classic, not going to be able to do much. I thought he would be able to pick up a little bit of an upgrade, but nope.
Yeah, able to nip it in the bud in time. Again, NBG forced to some early questioning to slow things down at the wrong time. It's the kind of things that you take the risks for in the pistol round. Nothing too much about it. But Nightblood, this is, again, the round to recover, the round to stick their foot into the sand. Let's hear what they have to say.
I think we might let op timing come through this. If I was dealing, I'm hopping, like, the moment my eye comes through, I'm walking through the smoke. And I think, Jaden, if you, like, get Rebel and, like, hold this green peak, like, it might just be free kill city for you.
Yeah.
No lie. Go see. Go see. Figure out.
Leave.
Go just stay there.
You want to end A or go C?
I don't think we have A. We have to replay this.
Go B.
Are we walking in the smoke together?
Yeah. Front B, by the face, maybe? Hold.
Three, 2, 1. I'm gonna jump out. 3, 2, 1. I'm docking mountain.
Yeah, I'm standing off of it.
Bring them down.
No one's there now.
Nice. Can we speed off that?
Yeah,
They're for sure left them on the line.
Standing on A, you just broke in.
I can need killing too. 3,
Yeah,
2, 1, need killing. I went to beat somewhere. I have to shock the water slide. There's one smoke here.
Token A.
I have flash for water. What do you want to do? Fight or get off?
I think we get off.
I'll stay in. I'll gladiator. Get off.
Could be flank, guys. Could be flank. Gun out.
Yep.
I can pop flash whenever whoever calls that. See
Yeah.
When we play
I have
here,
2 flashes for you as well,
play first.
Christian. Out of blood. Flashing
I'm
water.
gonna spin across.
Other me. Flashing high. 3, 2, 1. Open door.
Give me.
One enemy remaining.
One more top side. 3v1. Sure, missing.
Nice. Grab the Onin on my body. That's for guys.
Got it.
The fools gave us a window.
All right, hey, beautiful stuff from NBG on the readjustment. They were digging for gold, man. They were digging for gold, getting back into that C side because, again, 2 players already had that outside presence. They needed that dog. They needed that fade presence, and they got it. That next step, they're over into the C side. That just ends up becoming a little bit of a firing range, and you just can't complain about the result there for Nightblood Gaming. Love to see it, boys. Love to see it. You got the gold you were digging for.
Yeah, at the end of the day, what are you going to do more? You found what you came for.
Yeah, they were picking away.
But Nightblood continue pressing. They're not done. They haven't taken nearly enough space to justify the half. And yeah, these guys still got guns. Zostal, he's just going to stick this. Blue Otter, again, the confidence play. But Fair getting caught really early on in these rounds. Nightblood are doing a good job targeting and then doubling down, trying to twist that knife.
So has such a difficult task here. He's gonna have Zeke for the support, but that's beautiful from Zoe. Zoe spotted back over in tree, but it just does not matter. Responsive there from Zeke. Do they know about the presence here? It just doesn't matter either. Ren's just still gonna double take this, and that's what? It all just works, I guess.
It was already a foregone conclusion, but Ren says there's gold in them there hills, and he keeps on mining. He keeps on digging.
He's digging.
And what does he find? The rest of the pool. And honestly, that's best case scenario here for Blue Otter. You nip that in the bud nice and quickly, and you're almost at your not dead yet so early on into the potential swing again. A great start for Blue Otter, truly, on this defense, despite Nightblood being able to poke so many holes in it.
Oh man, I'm.
Gamers, man, gamers.
You're
cheesing,
dude. For no reason, man. For no reason. I'm just cheesing because I'm on LAN. That's it. That's the only reason why.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here, mate.
Just happy to be here.
Yes, mate.
Open A.
Zeke has a couple of open points to shoot at. There you go. 1 forehead taken away. Not going to be able to take away the rest, but that's already job done. They have man advantage going into this. They have Fade ultimate coming in. They have all the information in the world. However, they're not going to be able to exec on it. They're not going to be able to follow up on it. This is actually the best setup that we've seen, or the best chance here for Nightblood on a post plant that we've seen so far from them. They have surrounded completely this heaven area. Not so much stairs, though. And Smiley backing out intentionally. The crossfire has been broken up. Stunned. Fair accidentally doing it to himself. Note, able to pick up the frag there, and the Sheriffs are actually working out. Man advantage back for Blue Otter, but these angles are still very difficult. Screwface behind his smoke, and he wins his 1v1. And Smiley doing the same. Smiley with another frag. Now it's a one-on-one. Ren's going for the defuse. He goes for the fake. There's not a lot of time at all to even go for this type of fake. That is Screwface closing out the round.
Thrifty.
A table turned in legs.
Why didn't we have to listen in that round?
After NBG hovered like NPCs around that A site for so long, really no expectation of what they could do except just meet the threat. But Blue Otter's push is a little stilted. hanging from that drop, seeing that is such a good angle to present yourself from after Zeke got so much value out of it early on. Try to turn that into drop conversion early into that retake, but Nightblood are still so planted on the side. If anything, they're more planted because of that Nightfall that came in. They're more stalwart. So Blue Otter meet too much of a threat early on, and Screwface gets the drop on it.
This one is a little bit of a different look here from Blue Otter, posturing. Try to catch players off guard here. This is basically 2 one-and-dones here from Blue Otter. Trying to convert a lot more than that. They're going to have to basically rely on Rens to clean up the pieces. 4 here is done. This util should clear out this angle. Clear out tree. There goes the showstopper. And Smiley turns the corner. Able to pick away at 2. Smiley picking away his own teammate too. His own St. Clair teammate. 2 on 4. It's still going to be Blue Otter with a bit of an opportunity. But my goodness, Rens waiting for the burst. Waiting for an opportunity on Dakuni, but it's just not going to happen. Note has the follow-up, and that's the round.
That's the kind of overwhelming presence that Nightblood was really searching for that whole way through. And the fact that they're able to have even more presence that time around without necessarily cycling through the ultis for it, that poses a really good future in this half for Nightblood Gaming. They're definitely feeling their groove a little heavier now, and you can tell that Smiley is starting to feel like he can be truly active in this space. It's always a bit of a question with Breach nowadays, whether or not you're actually going to be able to enable your teammates, but Smiley's been doing a great job of helping to chauffeur everybody around.
Everyone's showing up for Blue Otter. Everyone's showing up for this team in that front side. It is going to be 4 players, 5 players lined up for a push into 8 main. And real no presence ends up getting shown. 1 player ends up getting taken down.
They've read this again.
Is so strong. Nightblood Gaming, they might just be walking into the jaws of the beast here. Nightblood Gaming, they have no reason whatsoever to be flying into these sites. They can take their time here. They do have some util here in the hands of Screwface. That smoke is very well timed. Another one-way coming out in the hands of Nightblood. Now, there goes the scratch.
1 enemy remaining.
This time, Kumi is able to take down Rens too, so disaster avoided really because the read there from Blue Otter was there.
Yeah, it's funny. The most impressive macros seem to always come from like the rounds with the least potential, right? I'm so amazed by how early Blue Otter was tuned into that rotation, but half a gamble perhaps as well with the fact that you have that stack trying to play it out. But again, the shot's just not coming through despite the fact that I think that, again, they did everything right. The fact that Fireball Ops played his Vice util proactively as well instead of just throwing it out in the pre-phase. Again, I think it's a great micro shift to let yourself use absolutely everything you've got at your disposal to be able to take on the fight. And that stems from Blue Otter's pure confidence in being able to understand when that fight's going to happen. Again, I think it all came together really well. The guns just aren't as good, and it plays such a heavy role when everyone is so reliant on mechanics. Blue Otter now going to call this timeout after the fact. They will have an economic reset coming into this, but Nightblood Gaming, I mean, that aggression really does look like it can be replicated, and they're starting to find very good, consistent cutoffs of the right players to make the sites themselves not nearly as threatening.
And just not to take you off your train of thought, but we do have a big update here for our bracket. We do have our 3rd confirmed team for the next round.
Oh, we do.
Legacy Kingdom.
They have bested Rice and Cracker.
They have indeed.
So they will face off against Sad Esports in the semis tomorrow. That is going to be a banger matchup. One more semifinalist then that we got to find, Gus.
One more.
Right up there on that stage.
One more. It's on our screens, folks. Let's enjoy the rest of day 2, the last map, the last half hour to an hour that we have here on LAN until tomorrow, until the grand finale. It is going to be the burst out from Nightblood over towards A. It was quickly spotted already by Zoe. He does call in a little bit of a rotation. Body, so just a little lucky to great lineup on the crosshair to get that pick, and Fair even getting his own pick. Fair, that's all the way back in spawn, picking down Kumi. Kumi looking for an insurance option back over in C, and instead he gets bit for it. Zoe is even looking for something cheeky, but this is such a rough look from Nightblood Gaming. Nightblood Gaming, they've been corralled, they've been boxed into this tree area. They do have 1 player that was able to back on out, but this connector area has always been held up technically by the Neon. It's been monitored, but now it's double held up. Blue Otter completely surrounding this site. And it's very good here. The Nightblood is just taking their time. Screwface through the wall, able to take down Zoe. bit by bit, step by step, Nightblood Gaming are stepping into this site. No ultimate either. They don't use the Rolling Thunder, and instead Zeke tries to find an opportunity into sight. He's super low on HP. He's just trying to find a headshot, and that's when the Rolling Thunder comes in. Son of Car now has it all to do, and help me.
Well, I gotta say, the start of that, Blue Otter had, again, a massive macro advantage. And I want to speak real quickly to Fair in particular, who has taken the role of this Neon now on this map. The way that he's weaponizing his speed, even when he's lagging behind the rest of the team, has been really impressive. Running over to that baby door, getting to it, holding the site, and then turning right around and puppy guarding the entire rest of the fight so that no member of Nightblood Gaming comes in. That's how you're able to find the maximum value after getting a lurk kill like that. Even when you're Neon, you're not getting to the A site fast enough for the fight itself, but you can still be a massive threat just by letting Nightblood know that you're there, and Neon can always be there.
Speaking of the Neon, early on, it's going to be the first contact here from Fair! Bang! Fair! Oh my goodness! You still need a little bit more though, for sure. Nightblood Gaming, they have presence all throughout the map. One player over towards C, one player over towards mid. Z getting picked down a little bit. It's going to be yet another one-on-one, and that's a great spot there from Kumi, but no frag.
Full reset for MBG. Again, no space generated in the passive. B has been completely untouched. Blue Otter, again, they send Fair down that every 3 rounds. Nightblood's terrified. 2 ultimates to take this over. There's still Garden available for a free C, but Fireball is set up this time with his Vice util. He's not playing reactively.
He's waiting for a bit of a trap, and he's gonna have a second teammate here to try to hold things down. That Omen smoke. It's gonna take a while for it to end up going down. Zoe is gonna have a Paranoia ready. You're gonna have the Thorns ready to cascade here onto Nightblood. Nightblood, they're still trying to find any sort of pixel before this round is over. And look at this re-smoke. Re-smoke after re-smoke after re-smoke. The playstyle that Nightblood has been going for, it's completely gone. They've been waiting for the pixels, they've been waiting for the peaks, and it's just not coming out. It's being denied completely. However, A site, this is the option for them. Only one player here on site. 14 seconds left. Stun into the back of site. Fair needs to do it all, but he repositions back into the gun of no. There goes the Thorns into the middle of site. Do have friends need to fight somehow with his pistol. Kumi and Smiley collecting the frags. Nightblood Gaming, bit by bit, heading into the middle of this A site. They needed to fight tooth and nail throughout the entire map for them to make it happen here. And by God, it's happened. It's a 4-on-1. They flipped around entirely. Not a single player going down on this post play. Not a single player going down since they tried to re-exit into C. That is momentum for Nightblood.
The nature of Lotus attack implies that you can still always get there first. And Nightblood, they have to find a way to weaponize that so late into their half. How do you make sure that Renz can't be as much of a factor when it comes to the speed of this team? Or Fair, excuse me. No, Renz was on Neon last game.
Goodness.
But, I mean, what a starting snipe. First off, I love the re-smoke on C. Call from Screwface. Just getting that extra bit of time and attention paid over to C. The perfect way to minimize what is used to stall them. All they used was a C's, and it was almost enough to get everybody there. But Nightblood win the foot race, and now we're leading up. It's time for the other duelists to start fragging.
There's Son of Car striking down on the Fair, and it's just a war outside. It's so able to pick up one off the classic. Ren's looking for a bit of a battle. I mean, that's just it. These pistols could only do so much. They put themselves in the right positions. We're done. It's going to be a 4-on-2. This next interaction here in the back of sight, here on the front of sight, really, Zeke goes down in a heap. And Son of Car, in the middle of all of that chaos, the kid wants it.
If he ulties for it, I'll give him $5.
That's okay. All right. All right.
Carson, if you ult for this run, I'll give you $5.
I'm sure you need it. Listen, man.
Hey, Blue Otter's looking really good, dude. You might not get a piece of this pie.
Surely Nightblood Gaming is training.
Hey, they're panhandling, man. They've been struggling, going through it.
Are they? Don't say that. Don't they not?
They need a lot of help right now. No, I'm not supposed to tell anybody this, but they're in like deep straits. It's really bad for them.
Okay.
Oh, Fireball.
Great. Professionalism at its finest. 1v2.
All jokes. I'm completely kidding.
This is jokes? You didn't sound like you were joking.
What?
Here comes 1v2. Okay. Hey, let's go.
We forgot. Hey, no ulti though. No ulti. Hey. Stay poor.
Stay poor.
I say to the tier 2 Valorant. I I say to the clouded tier 2 Valorant player.
Are you preaching to the
Yeah,
choir?
Brokey.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
I'm sorry.
Because you're speaking to 100% of the audience right now.
As the resident no-lifer, I feel more than qualified to say that both these orgs have been incredible to their players and the community, in particular this year. It's been really exciting to watch them both grow, and this has been the perfect space to really see them blossom.
Every year we end up getting another wave of these super supportive orgs, but here comes a massive war. It's gonna be 3 defenders coming out from Connector, and that TP is absolutely unbelievable from Zoe, right in the jaws of the beast, and he's still able to get a big kill out of it, somehow looking for another headshot, but Renz is here to help. Fireball Ops does end up going down, but you still have Renz right next to his teammate. 3 players surrounding the spike at the moment, and they just do not have any cover whatsoever to try to get this. Screwface might just be living up to his name right now, and just this man just might be screwed.
In the face.
What?
Of Blue Otter.
Oh. Okay.
Badger.
All right.
Drop in a smoke.
Yeah, again, so many ways that Nightblood could normally play this, but you're really leaving me out to dry today, man.
I know, I wanted that so bad. You're welcome.
You're making a meal out of me, man. Eat me alive.
Yep.
Nightfall's free here for Nightblood, and, you know, times are tight. Could use this if Screwface is really feeling himself. Zoe on the low health pool and Rubble.
Last player standing.
That's,
goodness.
Yeah, that's
30
chalked.
seconds left.
Yeah, you try it as you may. Hurts,
hold
but he
up.
was looking just to isolate really a one-on-one.
You got 22. Kumi could get away with this.
Kumi could have done the thing, but really just going to be a single frag.
Rose is up.
Love these angles.
12 seconds.
Ciao, ciao.
Well, you have a lot to make this half a fully competitive
Last
one.
round in
If
the
you're
half.
Nightblood. Saving all that after the fact. But truly, I think Blue Otter have started to rise to the occasion again.
Yeah.
Good resurgence on the early fights, just to kind
Zoe's
of
stepping all the way up right now.
Yeah, they're really trying to dampen out the early fights just because they can see how activated, especially Car and Smiley are in those opening like 10, 25 seconds. They really feel like they can generate a lot of space if Blue Water are a little too lazy.
Oh, these calls are coming in late here for Nightblood Gaming. They had plenty of movement in their own spawn, going right up until the clock.
Bring them down.
None of these players ready for any sort of early approach, and all of this map control has just been given potentially by Nightblood. They don't know is. Okay, that would be really the time for the Ares to come out. Screwface able to pick down one. Again, 3 players held up in that mid side. Son of Car looking for the showstopper, not able to find anyone. Renz making a whole lot of noise. 2 players over behind Mound. It is going to be the death finally from Renz. Nobody else coming up next to them. Fair. He's going to come out way, way late. But NBG, they're stretching their legs here on site. Are they going to have backside presence? No, they're not actually. They're going to maintain themselves back over towards outside, but look at the util. They do have the Rolling Thunder, but Smiley is so close to use that Rolling Thunder. Smiley covering up all the angles. Man in the back of sight, done for. Z, he doesn't get stunned. They're still down to the 3-on-3, and this could not be any slower here for Blue Otter. Fair. Over back in the water. They have full sight control at this point, but Nightblood Gaming still seem confident that they could hold this one down. How does Screwface get that kill? There's 2 players incredibly low. Zoe, if anything, could have continued to spray, but this defuse going in. He might have time to kill this player over behind him, but it's just not going to happen. Kumi takes them away instead. That is a massive end to the half.
So slow, so delayed, and so damn close the whole way through. But like you said, that late call from Nightblood slowed them down, but ultimately their game plan was very clear, and they did not, they addressed every potential threat that was coming their way, especially checking that double stack after the not dead yet was coming from behind. But enough resource management that round to look really good to wrap up this half, and now changing over to that defense. Obviously, this is a bit of a strange comp that's going to be walking into you, but you have to be so prepared for it. It will absolutely flood you at a moment's notice, and Blue Otter's already heading into B, where we didn't touch last half.
Smiley is just an island. He's not going to be able to do much with so much util that could be coming over towards his way, but that's the Vice wall coming in. strong. You barely saw that at all coming out in the first half.
Fair is going to be able to disintegrate that whenever he wants to. You're going to have to start placing it way farther back, especially if Blue Water is as committal as they have been.
Kill here for Son of Car.
Yeah.
Onto Zeke, but as that happens, I mean, this is everything. No, not able to catch any contact whatsoever from Zeke over an A, and he's still just fighting. He ends up getting paranoid, but he's still fighting. He's still fighting. He's still trying to get some kills, and he almost gets two, or at least gets one more for himself. And that's a big kill coming out from Fireball Ops. Fireball Ops collecting his own solo frag over towards Heaven, and now Renz recollecting the position. He's gonna have a one-on-one against a player that just does not know that he's around. 1-on-3 with it all to do, and the HP is there. Son of Car just needs one bullet on two of these players. Make it just one more. He has a little bit of time here to try to rotate back into tree, and he's actually gonna head into there. Sneaking in now, Son of Car needs one more bullet on this man of sight. This one player right around the corner needs a bullet to the head. It just doesn't matter. Beautiful try there from Son of Car, but that's the round.
Good utilization of Zeke with the lack of intel that a pistol round necessitates. You're able to just send him off and kite away however many bodies you want. A much freer A site that you can just default pistol into, and Blue Water do so beautifully. Extend just enough to make it scary, despite the fact that Fair was unable to get that kill. Good restabilization, again, with the amount of map control that Blue Water were able to generate in a snap. That is the overarching threat that Nightblood Gaming have to deal with for this attack half in particular. They need to be as ubiquitous.
Defensive side, though, we are looking a bit of a scrappy setup here for Nightblood. Son of Car, that's on the front side. He does have that shotgun ready for any sort of burst, but nobody here from Blue Water is committing to any sort of interaction. They just have the right angles that they want for now. And it just seems like Nightblood, they want to give up the pixels. They want to clamp down on any sort of contact that Blue Water gives. But again, this approach here from Blue Water is just exactly right. No commitment whatsoever in this early round. It's the same way that they've been playing all series.
What you're able to get away with when you have that gun diff, seeing if Nightblood's the one to go for something risky first. Car, sticking around with the shotgun, not gonna work out. Renz places himself out, able to take just a chip. Free A site for Blue Water. Going to take that swiftly. Nightblood Gaming, no doubt they'll just pack themselves in for the full-fledged fight after everyone is home. Or they just die if Blue Water gets out quick enough.
Nice. Good.
That's a good one. Can double back, enable everyone else with another flash.
Yeah, good lopsided peek there, but like you said, they do have the flashes ready. They even have a stun ready on the breach. Even a smoke, even a paranoia. Not exactly the worst setup on planet Earth, but Zeke. That's a swing and a half. Good timing. 1v4. Oh, nice. Okay. This is basically all they need here. Kumi! Yes!
Again!
Again! Again!
Nice stuck around.
Hey, and now, hey, he picked up the Guardian. Made that peek instead. That actually might have been again.
Yeah.
But hey, that's way more that team could have gotten than what was afforded 15 seconds earlier.
Yeah, still beyond tight, and it's going to mean that this bonus round could give Nightblood a lot to work with going forward. So Blue Water going to go for some resource management here. Let's see how they sound coming into their attack round.
I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna full commits. Don't smoke. Just do it. Just keep on the UI door.
Yeah.
And you guys can like there. Main.
They tethered made a man last round.
Yeah. Put in it.
Blinding.
Shadows traveling.
Yeah, I have no C-Link.
We speed up guys or no?
Yeah.
Take him, walk him at 2.
Right.
Walk him. All the C-Links right now.
What's close? The 2. Don't see Omen.
2. Yeah, 2.
I'm holding Heaven. On C-Link. I smoke in 7. Heaven breach.
It was fate.
They smoke me out probably. I'm gonna K-bomb. Yeah. Smoke out.
Have it down, Omen.
Damn it. Go through runs? Can you just go through? Yeah.
Where
You don't have full runs, but like, yeah. Just J-Damage. It was really good damage.
Good damage though.
They were like all A.
Massive chunk of damage indeed, but Son of Car luckily able to wrangle that last fight and take the round home for Nightblood Gaming, giving them back that lead. But Gus, Blue Otter were able to take B by storm and have unending presence on it, seemingly, despite that gun diff.
And again, it just seems like that backup option at this point, because AC has been heavily contested every single time that Blue Otter has attempted to go forward in these early rounds at the bare minimum. Over towards B, again, just seemed pretty simple. Don't know if that's going to be exactly the same going forward, but at the bare minimum, they got the money that they needed going forward. Son of Car going to be bursting in, going to be picking up one shot off the showstopper. Are you kidding me? He's still going. Second kill coming in from Son of Car, but there's still so much work here for Nightblood to do. It's a 2-on-3, and the control for Blue Otter is all over the map.
Zeke second guessing that snake all the way back, sees a kill in his future, but can't finalize, and now there's no time to waste. Renz is going to be that backup man with the outlaw in hand. This will be an easy shred of 2. No Son of Car. Once again, the threat management from Nightblood is crucial on this duelist, and now they got a free 2v1 on site.
And Zeke, he's going to have an ultimate to use. He has a Prowler to try to trap one of these players as they try to go for the spike, but again, it's only one of them. 1-on-2. Spike in just such a precarious position for him, but he's just going for that first peek. My goodness, not able to find that first shot accuracy. He does find the information. He does have a bit of utility right on him. He's just not going to be able to peek with it. Zeke does get the 2 kills, but second round in a row with a defuse.
It's a really empty Nightfall, unfortunately. Car has every reason to just hold on to that with a second man protecting him, and Zeke, unfortunately, just playing a little too far back against his strengths. He's looked so good when he's holding these fights close, when he's the first responder, but when he's last alive, he feels like such a straggler, unfortunately, on this Blue Water team, and it feels like one of the few missing puzzle pieces that's keeping Blue Water from being practically unstoppable, because again, their macro reads have been almost perfect, other than when Carr decided to gun it down C-Mound with a Sheriff and a breach behind him and nothing else.
I mean, if anything, that last decision of where to even plant the spike, that was the only questionable decision of that round, because yeah, they did just have the read. That push was, in theory, that was into a team that was ready for that. They had 5 players grouped up back in spawn. In theory, could have been ready for that response, but
yeah, they're so reclined. Whenever nobody makes any noise, they're perfectly fine with there being a total standstill, a total standstill of static. Like, if there's no util coming my way, I'll send no util your way. I don't mind the trade because I'm better at it at the end of the day. And Blue Water has been really good at draining util on these early pushes.
Yeah, and that dynamic in general should have worked. It just should have worked. You know, with at least 2 or 3 people sitting on the outside of C, yes, it is a showstopper, but at the end of the day, you have way more than enough to try to get those trade frags. And yes, that did end up happening, but they end up way down because of it. The fact that Son of Car gets the extra mileage, that's it.
Cover going
Amazing individual frags coming out from Nightblood Gaming continuously in this game, and there goes Note picking up yet another headshot, this time onto Fair. Here comes the B site. The B site is completely empty. They are going to have one person stepping up right into it, and they haven't fully committed to C. This could still be that approach, and this is a slow approach going right in through the smoke. Are they going to re-peek this? Are they going to re-clear this? Yes, they are. They have a man up above. Zoe even covering up themselves with him. Yet another smoke, though. This is such a red alert position here for Nightblood. They have no idea what these players from Blue Water are doing. Kumi finally finds a pixel, but Zeke finds him instead. No, does not find anyone in the smoke. The movement is too good here, but there goes Screwface. Finding yet another kill on Zoe. Renz is back, trying to fight back on the revive. Renz just trying to find a body. Everyone running away. It's going to be 1-on-4 for Zeke, and it is all over.
Wildly impressed by that round from Nightblood Gaming, noted in particular. The moment you forget that he can choose to be aggressive, he steps out of that C-Mount door and grabs a first pick out the gate. Instant denial, instant pressure to go for the aggression onto C-side as well, with that need to just drain the team of as much as possible. Maybe you'll get a kill along the way, and shoot, they technically did, but truly losing so much momentum out the gate, and Nightblood Gaming able to take full advantage. They are daring to say we are ready for a blackout if need be. It doesn't matter if you're on site. If you're not giving us anything, fine by us.
And the aggression from Nightblood, round after round after round, just becoming a trademark thing because Blue Water continues to really allow them that space. Of course, out here over towards C, it is a bit of a different deal. You don't got a showstopper to deal with here for the defensive side.
Shadows
But
traveling.
this hold in general has just proven to be so strong. Bison Till here on B. Collecting a bit of a ping. Kumi. Just here, TP go in. Nobody spawns a pixel. So actually commits to it this time. Nobody's committing to this peak at all.
Another terrific TP from Zoe.
And there's so much presence still throughout the rest of the map. You still have a man over in the mid side. There could be a 1v1 over towards A. These are just so many battles that could formulate here for Blue Water, and all of it could just be so positive. Kumi ends up taking down Zoe. That was super important for the rest of this round. Zoe not getting anything that leaves Blue Water in such a tough position. They have to recommit with so much utility now. Fair, just throwing out a bit of presence. He's gonna hold the players here in B with that one peak alone. Here comes the rest of Blue Water. Now is the time if they want to get into C, but it's just not working. Node holds it down with a double frag immediately, looking for another, and indeed he finds it. 3 kills for Node, and Node finds a 4th. What a round.
It's like trying to drive a needle through concrete. Simply not enough firepower towards the bear hug that Noted can give you with those smokes on the seaside. Again, another terrific teleport from Zostal to get onto those boxes and start causing some artificial pressure. It took a lot of util and a good amount of people as well, but Blue Water couldn't springboard off of that. They didn't have enough time or weapons to be able to properly rotate into B-side in time either, so they just had to keep on swinging, and Nightblood, again, have enough to deal with it. Still some ults on the table now that Blue Water is back economically.
Blue Water, technically back economically, but there still has to be a couple of sacrifices, whether it be utility, whether it be armor. This A side is completely open. You got to be kidding me. Oh, so canceling that one out, just trying not to get caught. But my goodness, Blue Water, this is legitimately everything.
This is insane.
Nightblood, they have all 5 players completely away from A. Why? What look has Blue Water ever given for them to just completely evade this? And what confidence does Nightblood have to try to go for this full-on retake? Very excited for the answers to really all of these questions, but here we go. Zoe's trying to find something. Nightblood not able to find anything at the moment as Smiley and Note both go down. Son of Car could be able to find a pixel here, but just does not. What on earth happened this round to Nightblood Gaming? And Blue Otter able to strike down. They went so aggressive back into spawn. They swarmed Connector. Just cannot complain about the conversion there from Blue Water, but ultimately that is the space that Nightblood Gaming gave to them. That was it. Honestly, that was just it. Blue Water, they are going to have economy for the rest of this game. I mean, no matter if they end up losing, they should be able to rebuy. Nightblood Gaming, they win this round, they are facing a Blue Water team with absolutely nothing. And that was the round that they end up pulling basically the biggest gamble that they've had on D.
Yeah, such a head scratcher for that one. Nightblood deciding to just go fully for the clears to make sure that no one is screwing with them in the lurks now that people have started to snake through C and B doorsteps. But name me a time where that's ever worked and A site is free. Like Blue Water had A site for free with 5 people standing and they barely had to use utility. Do you really need to say any more at the end of the day? The game is so decided from there. It doesn't matter if Nightblood has anything, which by the way they did, but Blue Water had a steel garden and they were able to win the fight solely off of that. Because guess what? You're already out of time because you were clear the rest of the map along the way. Really inexplicable decision from Nightblood that completely resets this game almost.
Oh, Neon go stupid, Neon go crazy. Oh my goodness, Son of Car on the front side. Fair's gonna be able to pick up one. He's looking for a second. There you go. Fair with a double, looking for a triple, looking for Screwface back over in tree, and he's even looking for more, the extra credit. Almost there for Fair, but it's only gonna be 2. Here comes the rotation. Kumi has the position for this. Is anybody gonna peek into this man? Nobody at the moment. Fireball Ops just walks in through that cross. Kumi not able to do anything about it. This is a fully reset 3-on-3 coming in from Nightblood.
Nightfall out early though from the baby door, so Blue Water gonna pay extra attention to that as Noda tries to generate some hype over on the stairs, but Fireball Ops clips that quickly and leaves it to the sandwich from the link door. Screwface taken care of too, and again, Blue Water so incredibly aware to the point where now Nightblood will have to save this operator.
I mean, they picked correctly. They just picked correctly. 2 people head into sight from Connector, not a lot of trouble whatsoever doing it. The one man in the back with the operator just could not find an angle.
No time.
It was simple as that, but then Nightblood tried to get into that retake, and Blue Water just did what they do best. Continue to spread, continue to infect the rest of the map from where they have planted themselves. And it just worked out to just pick away the individuals. How many times can that work out? honestly, that could work out for the rest of this game. That sort of dynamic is still very unpredictable, no matter if you expect at least the mentality of it. The methodology, or at least the technique of going aggressive, can change every single round.
Yeah, that tree can branch any which way, and the tendrils on each one of those branches can extend in their own ways as well. An infinite number of possibilities that are managed as Blue Otter goes right for it again, and Noted shuts it all down in one fell swoop. Carson with the showstopper to fully beckon him out of the A door.
Yeah, if there's ever a time, if there's ever a response from Nightblood Gaming, it's going to be putting 4 players, let me say that again, 4 players surrounding A. One player was over towards B, but he's on that fast rotation, so that's all that really matters. Blue Otter, they run into the jaws of the beast. They thought that they could be able to take this one for free once again. No, sir. No, sir. The Neon, that all they needed was a single stun and a single wall to be able to make their way out in this very vast area, finally gets exploited. Blue Otter, his glory run has kind of run thin a little bit. Potentially.
Thorns are alive.
Potentially. I'm only going to say that for the clip. Because 2-on-5 just should not happen.
Kumi with the op hold again. Still nice and lonely. Blue Otter smell the blood, but Kumi has multiple angles to peek from. And Fireball op so low. It should be all but decided here with no util left to go for the Senti. And the Rose can't even be pulled out in time. Yet another frag for Carson, by the way. That sticks him already a quarter of the way towards that showstopper as well. A round completely bookended by the 2 players we spoke about at the beginning of this match, who had the most activity and who were fragging the most.
Yeah, again, beautiful stuff coming out from both Notes.
Match point.
Once again, Notes has been so consistent on that defensive side now, popping out with a couple of free frags, basically. That's all that you can really describe that outside interaction, by the way. Once you end up getting just the right man advantage there and you end up being as aggressive as they were, it is more or less free. But that had to come down to the call of Nightblood Gaming. Beautiful call. It is a gut call at the end of the day, though. It's the same thing that we saw from Nightblood, that they ended up leaving A site completely open. C was fairly open, B was fairly open. And here we go, folks. This could just be the last round of this BO3. Blue Otter stepping up with all 5 heading into C. This is the first time that we're seeing an aggressive look into this site. May they regret it. Son of Gar pulling up with a nade. And you still got the Thorns in the way of the Omen. So, still able to pick up the frags. Kumi has to keep their head on a swivel, but it doesn't matter. Fireball Ops is able to get the kill anyways. The rotation is so strong, but it doesn't matter. How? How do they do it? Note and Smiley individually not able to get any of the crossfires done. And now it's all on Screwface. Oh, the Ares with the Odin.
Planted.
Odin stepping up to the plate and getting absolutely nothing. Fireball Ops with a 3K. Blue Otter continuing.
And Fireball is the center of that push, make no mistake. Starting out with that low ground hold, and then shifting up extra quick. The double up on util was what was really important for that entire round. You saw continuously, the second they noticed that a player was active, the second they had that intel, they launched both the Prowler and that extra paranoia towards that box to take that curve. Just completely overwhelming is the priority for who's on the site, and we can deal with that later fight after the fact. Nightblood, ultless, momentumless, 2 rounds to go to hold this match down and get to semis.
Down and down, needs at least a kill out of this, but no, oh my goodness.
Does it again!
He does it again! And now he has more support. Support coming in from A.
1 enemy remaining.
There goes Note again! 3v1! Nightblood swarms, and they do it! Nightblood are in semis!
You just have to bring the hammer down hard enough, and at the right time. And Nightblood found that moment, that button, enough times. Blue Otter definitely looked like they were the better team for a good portion of that game, and certainly the one before that. But at the end of the day, MEG still holds that energy. God, Carr was fragging out of his mind for the majority of that. I think he had a 25 bomb by the end of it.
He had to. He absolutely had to. The one time that we ended up seeing Son of Carr really get comfortable was the time that he could just plant himself. That wasn't what we expect out of a duelist. That's not what we expect out of the Jet. Finally, Son of Carr forced to get mobile on this map that just has that little bit less verticality for him, but he's still able to just find the right angles in the early rounds. Still, at the end of the day, we were looking for Noti. He doesn't have that impact in the first half. Spotty throughout the rest of the series. Not exactly, not the worst by any means, not the best by any means, but still at the end of the day, Note was still a consistent presence throughout this series, but his best look came out in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. He was really starting to feel himself play on top of his own smokes a little bit more, and the synergy that was starting to form with the other players. You really saw Nightblood start to huddle together a little bit more towards the end of that. A little Blue Water-esque, if anything, but the management was just so tantalizing. You couldn't resist something like that. Having those players with a little swifter coverage on each other, now that you're on that attack phase, as such a clump, they look so much stronger and so much more capable of managing the team fights that Blue Water wanted to go for. You saw that last round. They popped out of the clove smoke. 5-step. They're ready for it. An NBG contest. They dare to duel. They dare to dance with the devil. And today, the devil has won. Nightblood Gaming, your final semi-finalist walking into tomorrow.
Screwface playing with hearts as per usual. Love it. Kyle, Screwface, his IGLing this game, you can hear it in the listen-ins. He was keeping that tempo on such different levels. He wasn't keeping it consistent, making sure that his team, whether it be on the aggression or whether it be just trying to keep it disciplined, making sure that every single player was on the same line. And still, when it came to just the last-second adaptations, when it came to the last-second calls, the passion that would come out of Screwface just to force everyone to just get in the same mentality, the same idea. Again, you can see just the puzzle pieces starting to formulate here for NBG. Here on LAN is where those colors truly show, and we ended up seeing a real passionate look.
Yeah, and it's only up from here, right? It's only, you know, NBG going back home, talking this over, going over some of the really crucial mistakes that they made against these teams that are on that same level as these semi-finalists. You just knocked off one challenger team. Congratulations, you gotta go do it again tomorrow. I mean, the matchups just never stop. The grind does not stop, but as expected, indeed, Son of Card did hit that 25 coming out of this 13-10 victory to take them to the semifinals. But really, everyone played a role. Smiley was running up those assists, especially by the end game. Screwface with the calling. Every cog meshed this game.
Yeah, I mean, you could even mention a player like Kumi. Kumi, who was just stuck at the bottom of the scoreboard throughout this entire BO3. Kumi steps up to the plate on the Sentinel. That is so crucial on this map. Vice had the impact on this map, the impact over towards B, and a bigger impact, you would argue, than the Vice on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
Even though Fireball Ops might have had a little bit more of an impact in terms of the fragging, in terms of the actual hand-to-hand battle, it just did not happen in terms of the tactics there. But still, a close game. You could not have drawn this line thinner between these two teams. Love to see it on LAN, and that's how you close things out, dude.
An incredible showing from Blue Otter as well. Got to give a shout out to them, and Renz coming in as that super sub to really fill the gap. You can tell he was having a really good time with this team as well, and Blue Otter as a whole was having a good time. I'm sure we'll see them here in the audience cheering on the rest of the teams who are going to be duking it out. But Nightblood Gaming will be one of those teams, one of the 4 remaining here at the Zero in LAN.
And we have the bracket updated for you guys. Semifinals are set. On one side of the bracket, SAD Esports facing off against Legacy. Legacy on quite the run so far, facing off against really the Cinderella of the group stage in terms of overtake, even taking down a big proponent in terms of Rice and Cracker. SAD Esports, they came into this taking down the best team from the group stage. Pigeons going down 2-1. Dynamo. What more can you say about Dynamo other than just look at the graphic, dude? They beat Burger Boys. NBG's in the semis. We just saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for Championship Sunday.
Oh man, it's gonna be a really good one. Everybody just looks so clean, and I think it's the perfect mix of everything we wanted, right? A couple of teams that we knew were gonna be good coming into this, that wanted to show what they've become, and a couple of teams that wanted to show some new stuff, show off what players they had to offer.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna be having that winners interview. No bait this time, I promise.
No bait.
Thank you all for watching so far. Thank you for watching Zero In. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, but give us a couple of seconds. We'll give you guys, or a couple of moments. We'll give you guys the interview that you guys have been waiting for.
Hey there, guys. I'm here with Noted from Nightblood Gaming, coming off of their quarterfinals victory. Congratulations on making it to semifinals tomorrow, man.
Thank you.
How are you guys feeling, coming out of that match? It was definitely a bit of a slog against Blue Otter, but ultimately you guys came out on top. Did you expect it to be a really tough matchup? Did you think that Blue Otter was really going to have control of that second map?
I mean, yeah, I thought that would be hard because they're also like a challengers team, and like I know them, like I know they're good, but I still thought we could win. Like I was so confident in winning.
Yeah, I mean, talking about your confidence specifically, that's been something that I think we've all been talking about a lot, especially at this LAN. Obviously, a lot of other North American smokers are starting to become a little more active, but you in particular have been really incredible at being one of those like cornerstone aggressive smokers that has been able to frag while still offering a lot of util and control to sites. How have you been able to sort of manage that shift as somebody who maybe gets a little more relied on to be able to carry the team sometimes?
I just like try and make sure I don't die like without like a good reason. Like obviously I do sometimes, like obviously that happens, but like I try to only be aggressive when if I die, like my team can still get value off of it instead of just like dying for like free pretty much.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It was great to see you maximize that value. I do have one more question for you. Obviously, coming out of that second map, it was pretty brutal, and the turnaround time was also pretty brutal. You guys had like 3-4 minutes to sit back there, have your little powwow, and try to reset the mental shift. Can you sort of walk me through what it takes to be able to reset your brain that quickly when you go into that next map, when all those stakes are there?
Just 5 bathroom breaks. I mean, that's what they did, and that worked easily.
Like
yeah.
5 times in a row?
No, all of us just took a bathroom break. Everyone just went to pee.
That's all it was, is you just had to unload a little bit. Yeah. That's all it was, just the tension, clearly. Well, I appreciate you taking the time so much, Noted. Thank you so much, and again, congratulations. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
One enemy remaining. Close one.
Ready.
Spike planted. Yikes. One enemy remaining.
3. My ult's ready. Night. Nailed.
Spike down. C.
No charge blood.
One enemy remaining.
My ult is ready.
One enemy remaining.
Not ready.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Enemy down. Shot down.
Give me that. Variable.
One enemy. Spike down. B. One enemy remaining. One enemy. One enemy remaining.
At the end of the day, the teamwork, it really coalesces. Liddy and Co, they're definitely...
Spike plant. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Voice is gone.
One enemy remaining.
Ultimate is ready.
Spike. One enemy remaining.
Enemy down.
One enemy remaining.